We're live.
Woo! Welcome back to the Graybeard Podcast, everybody. Mm-hmm. Thanks for joining us this evening. I've got an entrepreneur, a young lady that is going to take the world by storm, and we're going to find all about her tonight. So, everyone, welcome Jasmon. LaMon. Forgot the last name again.
Jasmon, LaMon.
Okay.
It's okay. Yes.
I'm horrible with names.
It's all right.
And thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. We won't jump right back into the conversation we were having, but we were having a good conversation before you guys came.
Interrupted us.
Yeah, we'll get back into that. But let's find out a little bit about you.
Yes.
So are you from, well, I heard that you say that you are of a military family.
Yes.
So I always ask, are you from Jax?
I'm from Orange County, California.
Okay.
Yes. But I moved here to Jacksonville when I was about 4 years old.
Okay.
Yes. Both my parents are Marines.
Okay. And they've been stationed here since you were 4?
I would say, well, they weren't stationed. We moved here for family.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they got out, but they were moving around a lot since then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 20 years. You're a Floridian by now. Your blood's thinned out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is that a good thing?
Is it thinned out? Yeah. So from the heat in Florida?
I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I could not live in a cold environment. I would not survive.
Nope.
I haven't adapted to that.
Well, I mean, it's hot in California, but it's always the same, isn't it, in California?
I don't remember. I was
you were
4 years
4.
old when I left.
I don't know why I'm asking you those types of questions.
I plan to go back, though.
What's parking like? No, you're 4 years old.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you've been here for quite a while.
Yes,
and you told me that you are an entrepreneur, and you've done a lot of things, of things in your short life.
Yes.
So
it feels long. I'm kidding.
I know. We're just sitting here talking to you before we started rolling. I was like, you're like, yeah. And when I was doing this, and then this and that happened, and then I was doing this, and then I was like, are you trying to learn everything there is to learn in the world?
No, I wouldn't say that. I just think that it's important to try as many things as you can while you have the opportunity to. Yeah. And so that's what I've done,
trying to find your way, your path.
Exactly. Because when the pandemic happened, then a lot of people saw it as a big problem because most people can't sit in a room by themselves for 5 minutes, let alone months on end.
Right.
But I use that as an opportunity to figure out, at this time, I'm security guard for a gated community, working 16-hour shifts. And
that's a long time to be a security guard.
Yeah, just on a weekend.
I'm going to tell you, some people might have slipped by me because I might have been sleeping.
Oh, you used to be a security guard too?
No, but if I had to sit there for 16 hours.
Well, I didn't just sit there. I did not just sit there.
Did you patrol?
I don't like patrolling in the car. Okay. No. But what I did do was, it wouldn't just be me. It would be another guard there that would patrol, and then we'll take turns. So there was this big, extravagant golf course. So I got to kind of wander around when I was on my break.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll wander around a little too long, and then they'll get a little upset with me. But even then, it was, while everyone lost their job, I was so thankful that I had one.
Right.
You know? And then the people that I worked with were they would complain 24/7. They were twice my age. I was 20.
Well, that's what old people do. I know from experience.
No, but I was 20 at the time. They were 35 complaining. And I'm just thinking, man, I'm happy that I even got a job. People are losing their businesses, their homes, and
can't pay bills.
Exactly.
Right.
But I was kind of went on tangent there.
Oh, do it. Tangent away.
Yeah. But during the week, I only worked out on weekends. During the week, then I had time to think. And I was just thinking, okay, well, right now I'm only making a couple $100. I was getting paid $11 an hour. I'm only making a couple $100 on the weekends. I want to be productive on the weekdays too. So I was figuring out, how can I make money online? Nobody can go anywhere. Let's figure this out. I'm looking things up, and I find voiceover artists. I'm like, Okay. What do I need? Okay, just a microphone and a sound booth. I'm looking around. I don't have a sound booth in my room, but I'm like, I'll fake it till I make it.
Yeah. Closet is your friend.
Yeah, my closet, it was filled with my clothes, though, so there wasn't much
that's
room.
the point. It's very good for deadening sound.
Yeah, you do have a point. Yeah, thank you.
I did a lot of podcasts in my closet.
Really?
Yeah.
And other things, too.
Hey, calm down, man.
Sorry. Hey, but by the grace of God, shouted out, said, hey. And Elijah LaMon said, love you, Jasmon.
Sounds like somebody you're related to.
Yeah.
I love you too, Elijah. Shout out to my brother. I love him
Is Elijah
so much.
your brother?
Yes. He's my older brother. Yes. He's a hardworking man. He's a truck driver, and he just came back home.
That is a tough job.
Yeah, now he's going to be a corrections officer. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Dope.
Someone else, but by the grace of God, also said, it's a blessing to be as diversely talented, humble, gracious, and fearlessly in pursuit of having a fulfilling lifestyle. You're such an inspiration.
Who said that?
But by the grace of God, I don't know who that is on.
That's their handle.
That's their
on,
handle on YouTube.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I imagine.
Thank you.
They love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
Probably family.
I was going to say, I bet it's somebody in your family.
Okay. Thank you so much, you guys.
Or it could just be a fan.
Maybe.
Never know.
I got a few of those. I got like 7 fans.
7? There's more than that on there.
Oh, no. A lot of them are just dead followers. They don't even. I had this since high school.
Oh, your Instagram?
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Did you have another Instagram that you would like to share with the class, or?
I have this Instagram, and then
like your entrepreneur.
I mean, that is my entrepreneur.
Oh, okay,
Instagram.
that's where you.
Yeah.
Where do you? Okay, so let me before we get too far ahead.
Of course.
So, you did voiceovers.
Yes.
So let's get back into that, because
of course
that has always interested me. Obviously, I'm into audio and all that stuff. Just
as I can tell.
A little bit of stuff here, but and my girlfriend and I have talked about like doing reading books. For audiobooks and doing any kind of voiceovers that we can.
And I will say I have done one audiobook before, and it takes a lot of breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I did the audiobook, it's funny because typically I don't curse or, say bad things, but in the book it had bad words.
Oh, okay. I thought you got so frustrated.
No. And I know that any experienced voiceover artist would say, hey, review the script before you read it on the microphone, and I just read it for the first
ham.
I just read it for the first time while recording. I'm like surprised by what I'm saying. I'm like, oh my gosh, is my parents gonna hear this?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Not that type of book, most likely.
Oh no, it was just like some like domestic scenes happening, and then I was playing the husband and then the wife.
Oh, you had to do like character acting.
Yeah. So I was changing my tone of voice.
That's hilarious.
It was very strange.
I need to know what book it is so I can go buy it on Audible. Is it on Audible?
Yeah, it's an audiobook. It was for
You can send me that later.
It's slipping my mind, but
when you find it, I just want to hear it. Like you said, everything is a hustle. I mean, you have to you want to be productive all the time, and in this economy, especially right now, after the dirty C word that we just talked about.
Yes, we won't say that again.
Well,
we won't contaminate the air.
Well,
Hey, we're all 6 foot apart. Chill.
Are we?
This is like 3 feet.
I don't know. Yeah.
Don't let them know.
For the internet purposes, we're 6 feet apart.
Okay.
I don't think it matters anymore. I think we're over it.
It doesn't.
Most people are over it.
Yes, I'm over it. I had COVID actually once upon a time.
I got it once.
Yeah. And thing is,
maybe
it
twice.
didn't really affect really healthy people. Like for me, I didn't even know I had it.
Yeah.
But I was
could have been asymptomatic.
Yeah, I was, and I felt great. I felt amazing.
And then you got everyone in your house sick.
No. I was mainly around my ex-boyfriend at the time.
Oh, so it's okay.
No,
get him sick.
I mean, no, I wasn't. I felt bad for getting him sick, but I didn't even know I got him sick.
Yeah,
he just all of a sudden. Like his diet's horrible, so all of a sudden he just couldn't work, could barely move, was a couch potato.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, like what's happening to him? And he's like, let's take a COVID test, and we both took it. We both had COVID, and I'm just like, I feel fine.
Yeah,
that
is a theory that people, not to get on that topic, but might as well.
Health plays a part in
absolutely,
everything.
Absolutely.
Everything matters.
Yeah, if your immune system's good, you're gonna get through it easier, I think. And And you didn't really hear anything about that during that time.
Of course not.
They just wanted to shoot you up with, and this and that and booster this and that.
And, unfortunately, well, it wasn't really a big deal at the time for me, but as I was getting out of being a security guard, then I wanted to become a flight attendant because I just wanted to get away. And so it was mandatory to take a shot. And so I had to take it.
I just saw this thing on X. I don't know if you're on X.
Oh, Twitter?
Yeah, it's X.
Twitter,
now.
X.
Oh, it's called X?
Yeah, if you call it Twitter, you're dead naming. Okay, so we don't do that.
Don't dead name X.
X is it's a trans it's a trans site. No, I don't know. That sounded bad. It's been transitioned.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's X now.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. X. That's Elon Musk bought it. That's what he called it. That's his son's name. So X.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Wow.
But I try to call it X. I know people are still calling it Twitter, but whatever. Yeah. I saw this thing on there today. It was a professor from somewhere. You can't believe everything you see, but it was just interesting, thought-provoking stuff, and it might lend to more like research on my part down the road. But she was saying that everyone who got vaccinated is no longer considered a human. You are now a transhuman. It's like,
really?
Yeah, and so that the normal laws that apply to humans don't apply to you anymore. So that was just again.
I could live lawless.
Well,
yeah.
If you want to look at it that way, or you could look at it like, the government could be like, we can do whatever we want because you're a transhuman now.
Oh, I see.
Because these laws don't apply to you. So
I see.
But again, that's one of those conspiracy theories.
Sounds like more of like a totalitarian. Aspect of it, like with laws and regulation and
she was trying to she wasn't trying to make it out like it was one of those things where they're like, we did this on purpose so we could do this. It was just kind of like implied, but we talked about conspiracy theories earlier, and this is
just a tad bit, and so now we're intertwining it.
Yeah, but we'll go back to you now. Sorry,
it's okay. All of this is very interesting.
I told you we bounce around. My little brain just is like a Mexican jumping bean in there, and it just bounces around in there. And other topics happen. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
It's genetics. I don't know.
Genetics. Blame the genetics.
Yeah. So, okay, what did you do after the voice acting? Or are you still doing that?
So I don't do that anymore. No, it was just
that
for a period of time. No, it wasn't. I mean, the book was one of my last biggest projects, but it was just during that time, the pandemic. It was a weird time.
Yeah.
I did it for probably about a year and a half or so, and the gigs I got starting out, you have to start small, so I only got $10 starting out, and then 20, and then 30, and then it built on its way there.
Right.
But after that, then like I said, I didn't want to be a security guard anymore.
Okay.
I was like, I want to get away. I'm tired of this pandemic stuff, and I just want to fly in the sky and not have any worries. So I became a flight attendant.
Okay.
And it was it's so funny. I was about to ask you, have you ever been a flight attendant before?
I have not.
Okay.
I mean, unless it was in a former life.
Okay.
But, so tell us, what was that like?
It was, honestly, it's one of the best jobs I have ever had in my entire life.
Yeah?
But they pay you pennies.
Oh.
You can barely survive.
But you can fly wherever you want for free, right?
Yeah, you fly, well, no. You are on standby.
Okay.
You mimicked me.
I did a little bit.
Yeah, you are on standby.
I'm a dork, sorry.
You're on standby. So standby, what that means is that doesn't mean you're guaranteed a ticket to go wherever you want. That means you're on standby. So if there's one person that doesn't show up for their flight, you can take that seat. But if everybody shows up, then you're stranded in the airport. And I've been stranded in the airport a few times.
I had a friend that worked for the what are they called? The people in the airport, the security.
TSA.
That.
Oh,
I
God.
couldn't remember my
they
brain.
worked for them?
He was like a coffee.
Please.
He was like a manager for the TSA, and he was like, dude, he's like, I take my family on flights and trips all the time for free. And I was like, well, must be nice.
Well, you got to be careful because one day he's going to be stuck in Brazil and then all the flight is overbooked and then they're going to be stranded because has happened.
Just until the next plane comes, right?
No. I mean, not necessarily because with flights, what I've realized, and also another interesting fact is that before I ever became a flight attendant, I've never been on a plane.
What?
So, yeah, I never experienced what it was like on a plane. And
so what possessed you
to get in a pressurized tube 30,000 feet?
Yeah, and you were like, let me do that.
It was just,
Did you have
I knew,
a friend?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, I've honestly never really had many friends, but I just knew that the first time I got on my flight, it was actually free. It was to train in Indianapolis.
Okay.
And I just knew that I would love how it feels in the sky. And so when I got on the plane, my mom, like some of my friends, and they was like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you be a flight attendant? You don't even know what it's like. How you even know if you're going to like it? I was like, I just know. But as soon as the plane took off in the air and I could feel just the
Putting you
air
back
pressure.
in the seat. Yeah.
And then I was just like, whoa. I was like, I can do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, it's cool. It's actually a really neat feeling. I was nervous when I took my first flight. And then after that, I worked for a company and they were sending me for almost a year. They were sending me all over the place. And
really?
Just here in the States, it wasn't anything crazy. But
still.
And I mean, like every other week I was on a plane. So, and that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have to pay for it, too. That was even cooler.
Yeah, but the people you meet, like, one thing I learned about being...
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Well,
you sit right next to the wrong person.
Yeah,
like,
but I will say,
how long is this flight?
I will say at the beginning of this year, I went to Dubai.
Oh, cool.
And so being in other airports outside of this country, people are so nice. People don't yell at you like TSA does.
Yeah.
Whoa. But
shots fired.
No, it's just an observation. I'm not judging, just observation. Yeah. But even then, one thing I realized about being a flight attendant when I would be up in the sky and I would look down as a plane would take off and I would see everything shrink and get smaller, I realized how people are. Well, I realized how small people are and how small I am, And it made me have a moment where I realized that by myself individually, I can't do much on my own, but if I could have the power to influence more, if I could have the power to influence 10,000, 100,000 people, then all together we're stronger as a unit,
right.
And so it kind of just made me have that realization wow, I'm so small, but, your life has significance when you're able to make other people's lives better. And
very good philosophy.
Yes.
I like that.
And I realized that in my life, any successful life is one of giving, one of serving. Like this, have you heard of Robin Sharma? Are you familiar with him? He's like a humanitarian.
No,
humanitarian.
Humanitarian. Yeah,
I don't believe I have.
But there's a quote that he said that resonates with me that is so true. He said, in order to make millions, you have to serve millions. In order to make billions, you have to serve billions.
So he's one of them guru types.
I guess he is. Kind of.
Like the Dalai Lama and...
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
They're always the smartest guys, but they but they always live on a mountain by themselves somewhere with a goat.
He has lived on mountains before.
Yeah.
Intellectual.
Yeah. But even then it makes you realize that there's so much more to the world than yourself. Because people that are selfish, you have to think, there's only one of you, and there's a billion of other people.
Yeah.
So to live a successful life, you would have to find a way to not only help yourself, but to help other people.
So how hard is it, or has it been, to stay as positive as you are with this? I mean, the way the world is right now, I mean, our world anyways, I mean, there's a lot of distinction among the ranks, like a lot of people are, I'm on this side and you're on this side and everybody's like doing this. And I know it makes me sad to see.
Yeah.
And I try to stay positive as well. But how do you maintain positivity in a climate like that?
Well, I believe that positivity, self-love, that's where it starts, with yourself. It all starts with yourself. And when I became more self-aware and practiced more self-development to understand how things are, why people are the way they are, then I realized that when someone is yelling at me or cursing me out, it's not because of me. It's because they're having a bad day.
Right.
They're just reflecting their own insecurities onto me.
Right.
And so when I saw it from that perspective, then I can be more patient and understanding, like, hey, and calm them down. So I've always been an excellent communicator.
Yeah.
You know, like I could see through what people are saying. I could see what they're actually feeling and what's going on. You know, with men especially, if you're mad, typically the madness is just to mask the sadness of something else. And
Sometimes.
I mean, sometimes.
Sometimes it's like jokes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, our biggest loss, I mean, one of our biggest losses is Robin Williams. You know, he was a funny guy, but he was hurting, you know, and you just never know. But it's good to be able to look into that.
Exactly. And it's just, the world needs more compassion, more people that care, more people that have that understanding, because most people, they take things so personally.
Right.
When in reality, this person that is angry, that's yelling, it's a cry for help. Like, I try to see people, it doesn't matter how old they are, I try to see them as a child, you know?
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, as a child.
When you start thinking about people, like, that guy was a baby once.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And with a lot of people
we were all babies.
Exactly. And with a lot of people that have trauma, like traumatic experiences that happen when they're children,
right,
they get stuck there.
Uh-huh.
And they never leave there.
Yeah.
They could be 30, 40, it doesn't matter. They're stuck there.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? A lot of people don't know.
They don't know, but the thing is, Jim, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, Jim.
She's about to break it down. Listen, Jim.
Just want to make sure you're listening.
No, I'm totally listening.
Yes. But the thing is, Jim, people mask those emotions.
Mm-hmm.
That's all people do. They mask the emotions, whether it's with alcohol, whether it's with cigarettes, whether it's with going to the strip club. They're just masking and distracting themselves from seeing what's within themselves, because they're scared.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they're scared to face whatever makes them feel uncomfortable, whatever is bringing that strong sense of sadness. And what they don't realize is that the more that you push it down, the more that you neglect those feelings, then one day it's just going to erupt.
Right.
And it's going to be towards someone that you love that doesn't deserve that. It's going to be towards people. You shouldn't bleed on people that didn't cut you. And that's exactly what it does.
You got a lot of good quotes inside of your brain. Where did you learn all of these mantras? I mean, like, you seem very well, like, versed for someone so young. And, you know, like, how much, like, what kind of, like, studying? I mean, who do you study under, or, you know, who do you look up to as far as motivational speaker, entrepreneurial types?
Well, yeah. So, I mean, as you can tell on my Instagram profile, I met Les Brown 2022. That was
okay.
Like
one of your mentors.
Yeah. Well, not a mentor.
Or
he's
someone
just
you look
a
up to.
motivational speaker.
This guy right here?
Yes. No. Yeah. Les Brown. He's one of the top motivational speakers in the world, along with Eric Thomas. Yeah, I presented a poem to him and a picture
cool.
that I drew. Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. But even then, with him, he came from nothing. He was adopted. He was born on a floor, and hearing his story and the person that he developed into, and even Eric Thomas, he was homeless for years until he became the person he was. And listening to their stories and how they were able to conduct themselves through those failures, through those tough times, that it touched my heart.
Yeah.
You know, like, motivation doesn't touch everybody's heart. It's not meant to.
Yeah.
It's supposed to touch the right people's hearts. So my words, it won't touch everyone's heart, but it's supposed to touch the hearts of those it's meant to.
Right.
And by doing that, it's a domino effect. And then I'll be able to inspire someone else, and then someone else, and then someone else. But most people, since they don't have a representation of someone that has done it but has had such a horrible past, then they have nothing to look up to except for, you know, these other role models. I'm not going to say names, but even then, it's so seeing their stories, and Robin Sharma, just going to all these self-development conferences, I really got to get in tune with what was really important in life. You know, what set my heart on fire, what made me feel alive, because I went through a period of time where I didn't feel alive.
Yeah.
You know, and I I didn't want to be alive, you know? And so to be able to bring myself out of that and then feel alive again and be happy to be alive and to look forward to every single day because I know it's an opportunity to help someone else. It means something to me because most people are like the Walking Dead, the show, literally.
Yeah.
Soulless.
And some people will actually throw it away.
They will.
You know, and which is, it's sad for us, you know, but at the time they felt like that was the right thing for them. I have my feelings about that.
Of course.
My father took his life.
I'm sorry to hear
when
that.
I was like 2. It's okay. I'm kind of past it.
Of course. Yeah.
Just seemed like it was pertinent for the conversation.
Yeah,
but,
I get that.
Now you said there was times when you didn't want to be even alive.
Though times where I felt that way.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I didn't want to, I just felt that way. Feelings are very strong. Just because you're feeling a certain way doesn't mean that it's fact.
Okay.
You know, that's something I came to realize, that my emotions, sometimes your emotions can lie to you. And so in those times where I felt that way, it was only when I was in places where I didn't belong. You know, I was around people that didn't think much of me, that you know, put down my dreams and couldn't see it for me because they never got to fulfill their own dreams. So how could I do that if they
Misery
never
loves
did?
company.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Hurt people.
Yeah, it's true.
They do.
Yeah. I mean, if they're miserable, they definitely want everyone else. They don't like to see people succeed. And,
Exactly.
you know,
And
they want you to struggle.
Yeah, and so something that really helps is I put anything that makes me feel alive, then I try to do a little bit of that every single day. So, you know, I love networking. I love talking to people.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm here talking to you.
Yeah, you're doing a great job, by the way. For being so nervous, she was kind of nervous.
Hey.
But we took care of that, right?
Yeah, I'm not nervous.
The first 15 minutes
I know.
Before we started rolling, we had a good conversation. We were talking about veganism and vegetarianism.
Yeah.
Whatever. Same difference.
No, it's not the same thing. It's not the
That's
same
how stupid
thing.
I am. This is meat eaters. We don't know any better. We're like Neanderthals. Like, it's meat.
Like fire. So, real quick, pause.
Yes.
Daddy chimed in and said, "Daddy's so proud of my baby." He also said, "Let her recite one of her poems. It's amazing."
Oh, we'll get to that.
Ooh.
Yes. Thank you for.
I didn't know there was
Dad.
poems.
I love you.
Actually, I did because I saw one of your reels where you were. Yeah, it came up across my page and I saw it. I can't remember. It's been a minute, but you were somewhere at a function or a club or some type of place.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you were
speaking.
yeah.
Yes.
What's funny is I used to write. Well, it's not funny. I used to write a lot of poetry. Like I have, those composition notebooks.
Yeah.
I've got at least 3 or 4 of them from when I was a kid. This is like 17 to maybe 21. I was doing it back then. I thought that was like I was in a band, so I was like,
okay.
I thought I was like being cool. I'm writing, I was like, I'm writing these poems, man, and then we could turn them into lyrics, and a lot of it was garbage. We turned one of them.
Hey, don't call it that. Don't call it that.
No, it was.
No.
Oh, trust me.
Anything of creation is not garbage. It's
no one at 17.
Beauty is an eye of
no
the
one
beholder.
at 17 knows how to write poetry.
False.
I mean, not me.
Okay.
And it was bad. Like there was a place down in 5 Points here, downtown.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It's not there anymore. I don't think. I don't believe it is, but it's been so long. It was a place called Fuel. And it was literally like every Friday night or whatever, they would have poetry reading.
Okay.
And we'd all go in there, and anybody could go up, and we would take turns going up, and everybody would have their like mocha choca latte, chai latte, whatever it is, these giant things with
I know.
foam, and I've got my scarf, and it was very artsy fartsy.
Yes.
But I never could. My stuff wasn't good enough to read. Put it that way.
You can't write that well.
I'll show you some.
We'll
talk about it afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, I'm very intrigued.
The titles were just.
What's one of the titles, please?
The one that stands out is I don't. Well, your family's watching. Remember, I was on an overnight shift when I was young. So when I was off, I would go to like a Denny's and stay up all night so I could sleep in the day and then go to work at night. On my days off, because I didn't have many friends either.
Okay.
No
friends team.
Yeah.
No
I mean, I had the band. That was about it.
Yeah.
But outside of that, and so things happened in Denny's, and there was a series of these that I wrote. I think there were 3 or 4 of them, but the title was "Taking a Shit in Denny's at 3 a.m." So you asked.
I understand now. I didn't understand before. I understand now.
But there's so much craziness that happens at a Denny's or an IHOP or a Waffle House at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, when especially on a Friday night. Going into Saturday, all the drunk people come and they sit down, and I would like write about people.
Oh yeah. As
they were just being drunk and belligerent, or whatever.
It's funny you say that. I used to be a hostess for Riverside.
Okay.
I worked in a couple different places. Was it Derby Park? Have you never experienced?
I go to one place in Riverside.
Hoptinger. Hoptinger?
I think I might have been there at one point.
Okay. Yeah, I used to be a hostess, and I remember vividly, there was this one homeless guy. He stood out so much. For one, because he looked...
smell?
No. I mean, that's kind of already expected.
Okay.
But for one, he looked so young in the face, probably about 25 or 28.
Yeah,
but he had the voice of such an intense smoker. And not only that, he beatboxed.
Really?
He beatboxed all the time. A lot of times I wouldn't even see him, but I would hear him beatboxing, so I knew he was near.
Yeah.
And then I see him, and I remember one night, it was, oh gosh. You know how Hoptinger is, where you can see the windows and you can kind of see the entire street?
It's been a minute, but I believe memory may...
Yeah, so I think he hit it off with some drunk chick or something, and they were talking. He was beatboxing, and like she was really feeling it. She was dancing on him. I was like, whoa. I was like, okay. And then they disappear and then come back, and he's like holding her. Her hair's all messed up, and her clothes are all mixed up. I'm like,
I wonder
whoa.
what happened there.
I'm like, whoa, like wow, he won the lottery tonight.
Yeah. Too bad he didn't. Too bad he didn't find a place to sleep. I mean, you would think like, hey, let's take this back to your place. I can get a shower and maybe sleep on your couch.
Nope, neither. No. Yeah, it was very strange, and I was just...
Drunk people do drunk people things.
Yes, you're right. And it's funny now because at the time I was like 18, 19, and so I was used to that environment. I was used to smoking weed, and it was a normal thing. But now, 24 years old, I go out there, and then I can't even inhale the weed smoke or cigarette smoke.
Right.
Or alcohol. Like, I haven't drank alcohol or smoked weed since January of this year.
Good
and
for you.
So
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. And that's what helped me become so clear-minded as well, because I realized that this is just my own personal opinion. I respect everybody's way of life and everything, but I just realized that alcohol is poison, and alcohol kills your brain cells. Now I'm in a stage where I'm learning a lot of new things in my life, and so if I drink alcohol, it's like I'm subtracting the information that I'm learning.
It definitely puts you in a haze.
It does.
It's been 7 years for me since I've had a sip.
Really?
Yeah.
High five.
That's what's up.
Man, no need to brag.
Well, I was definitely not doing well. I was very unwell, and I wanted to be in that haze. I wanted to be
exactly
a lot of things, but you start realizing what you're living for, and like I have children. At the time, it was just the children, and now I've got a grandchild.
Oh, congratulations!
So yeah, his kid. But yeah, it's just like you got a lot to live for, and I never wanted to I was worried that not that I wanted to do the harm to myself, but like being drunk all the time, and I was worried I was either going to hurt someone else or hurt myself.
Exactly.
And
the thing is, alcohol is a depressant.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling down or if you're not in a good mood, then it makes it worse. So to run to that to make yourself feel better, it's like it doesn't make sense, because ultimately you're not going to feel better afterwards. If anything, you'll probably feel regretful for doing something that you did drunk.
Especially the next morning.
Oh,
the hangover.
Oh, yeah.
I've always said that, anyone that tries to if they're having a bad day, I had a bad day. They get home and they've got to, I got to have a beer or two. You know, I feel like that's the definition of an addict.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And abuse, alcohol
big
abuse.
time. Because I know for me, whenever I'm having a bad day, then I'm just like, man, I need to, I'm just going to go for a run, go to the beach, just going to run,
There's
just
so
going to
other
listen to
things
some
you can
music.
do.
Exactly, some productive, healthy things that you could do. Because at the end of the day, alcohol, it can become addictive.
Oh, it's highly addictive.
Yeah, highly addictive. And
you know what's not addictive, though?
What?
Weed.
Huh?
Weed.
Yeah, it's not addictive. It's not.
But it's illegal. Ish.
Certain states it's
legal.
It's
illegal federally.
Yeah, certain
it's
states
federally.
it's legal. Certain states it's not. And I know for me, I started smoking weed when I was 12 years old.
What?
Yeah, because I told
Early
him.
starter.
Yeah, I did.
Whoa.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was because of an environment.
Yeah.
Everyone around me was smoking, and I wanted to be cool and have friends. And then the people I was smoking with ended up just, I was the joke at the end of the day. So it was kind of.
Why were you the joke?
Well, because I was a weird one.
Because you couldn't. Oh, you were a laugher? Were you a laugher?
Not only that, I just would say random things, and at the time, people didn't think I was that smart, and look at me now. But
boy, you proved them wrong.
Yeah, but even then, it was just a bad environment, and I was trying to fit in with people that weren't anything like me.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you're 12, 13, of course you're trying to fit in.
Yeah.
But as I got older, when I was a security guard, then I would also smoke during my 16-hour shift. Well, not the actual weed, but it was like a dab pen.
Yeah.
And because that helped me deal with the cursing people that would come up to the guardhouse.
Yeah.
And I will say, actually, I know I put it in my bio, but I want to tell you about the day that I met Mike Tyson.
Oh, you did. You did.
Story?
Yes. I was going to ask you about that a little down the road, but let's go for that now.
Yes. So I remember this day like it was yesterday. And I actually have the picture as well. I might have to stroll it up. I'm not sure if we could afterwards put
Is this when you were a security guard? Because
yes.
that was like when you wrote that thing. You were like, yeah, I was in security and I met Mike Tyson. And I'm like, wait, were these the same thing? Or
it was in the same time.
Is there supposed to be a comma? Or?
Yes. Oh, it's not on my Instagram. It's not on my Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, but so I remember it was a Saturday and it was sunny, and usually to start my day, I always have an energy drink because it's a 16-hour shift. I need to get some energy. And it was around 2 p.m., and that's usually when I get a little tired because the energy drink is wearing off, and then this black SUV pulls up to the gate. And so my eyes are a little blurry because I'm trying to stay awake, and I look over, and there's this guy. He has this thick accent, like Ukrainian or something. He's like, and I'm like,
I have never heard anybody with a Ukrainian accent sound like that.
And I look over, I'm like, what? And I look at him, I kind of squint, but then I notice someone in the passenger seat that looks familiar. I see
the
tattoo on his side of his face, and then I see this gap appear. I'm just like, wait. And then it's like the switch
just
flipped where it was on, and then it turned off, and all I can say was, "Are you Mike Tyson?" I was like, "Are you Mike Tyson?" And then he said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
No, she did not. Oh, he's coming after you now.
No. Please, I would love to meet you again.
You better stop making fun of me. I'm going to come after you when you sleep.
But when he said that, I was like, all I could think was, okay, Mike Tyson is a very important man. I don't want to take up too much of his time. I was like, oh my gosh, Mike Tyson, can I get a picture of you, Mike Tyson? This will mean the world to me. Nobody will believe me.
Did you keep saying his name like that?
I did.
Mike Tyson. Thank you, Mike Tyson.
Yes, I had to tell myself that it was real. Because sometimes I would daydream, so I was just like, right now, is this really happening? So I took the picture. He was very nice, laughing. There's people in the back seat he was laughing with. But I was like, thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you. And then poof.
When was this? What year?
It was 2020. So it was during the pandemic.
Okay.
So
it was back in his he was still in his pussycat phase where he was like docile.
Yeah. He was like, he was
not now because what's his name awoke the beast. Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Awoke the beast. Why are you laughing?
Huh?
Why are you laughing? He ignited my ego.
I mean, I think that.
I think he's going to knock his ass out.
No, I think that,
that's gonna happen.
It's setting up a fight. You have to set it up evenly, to go against a legend that's past his prime.
Yes.
I mean, he's still very fit, very strong, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, come on, I feel as though it's more of a.
Well, that's Jake Paul's shtick. He goes after
the old guys.
retired champions, and he wants to take them on.
Yeah.
He's beat one,
Basically all of them.
all of them.
I believe so.
I mean, he's a legit fighter.
Amazing.
He's not just a YouTuber.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. I never said he wasn't. Yeah,
I didn't think so either. I was like, what, the YouTube kid? You know, like, get out of town. But
I mean, I've done mixed martial arts for the past 10 years, and I could easily, go find someone that's in their 60s and say, I'm gonna go at you, and win. I mean, I feel as though when you reach a certain age,
I'm 47. You could probably take me. I'm weak.
How much do you weigh?
I don't want to talk about that on.
Oh.
You never ask a lady about her weight.
I'm 175. I don't mind. I'm mostly muscle mass, so I don't mind sharing my weight.
I'm like 189.
Okay, that's not bad. You're
5'8".
5'8"?
Yeah.
5'8"?
Yeah.
Okay.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'11". Okay.
I'm like the comic book version of the Tiny King Wolverine.
Really? Oh gosh.
Comic book accurate.
There's his record: win, loss.
Very impressive. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's a
half
true.
of those guys.
Yeah, me neither. But he sounds like a true champion. Amazing. Wow.
Nate Diaz is an outstanding
Yeah.
sparer.
Oh yeah, a good bit of them.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, but Nate Diaz is an MMA fighter, right?
Yeah. He's still a
And
great
so they
boxer.
But if they would have went for an MMA fight, he would have probably
would have
spanked
killed
up
him.
on him.
Yeah.
Not
For
that I
sure.
watch, but ever since my friend Yosuke came in here, there's a guy here in Jacksonville. He's a budding MMA fighter,
Ooh, okay.
and he was here a couple weeks ago, and he's super cool. And now I'm like
You got to
thinking
watch.
I might start watching.
Yeah. Or even join. I mean, honestly, MMA
It's
is very fun.
Outside.
Yeah, they're doing construction outside my house. They're putting in the
it's okay.
IQ fiber.
the high Q fiber.
I think it's good background music, good
Yeah.
background noise. Keeps things interesting. Like, ooh,
So
what's
if you
gonna
guys,
happen next?
if you guys hear that hissing noise, that's like everything in this room rattling because I can hear a crane or something, a backhoe.
Yeah,
As long as they
we'll
don't
be
hit the internet cable,
Yeah.
we're gonna be
just
all
fine.
right.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
We'll see.
yeah, because they're going to be I don't know why they're doing that. I don't think I'll even gain anything from it. Like
Yeah.
you have to be set up on a different network or something. I don't know.
Yeah,
At
it's
any
okay.
rate,
I think it's mass surveillance.
Yeah, probably Alex Jones. I always if there's noises or weird stuff happening, I always call to it. So if
Okay.
anybody's wondering, because when you're listening
Yeah,
to a
I get
podcast,
that. Yeah,
the
they're
fuck?
like, what's
if you're
going
just listening,
on?
you're like, what is that freaking noise? And then you take your earbud out and you're like, no, it's
Yeah.
on. It's definitely in the recording.
Yeah.
So I always call it out.
I've done that before, yeah.
So people
That's very
understand,
kind of you
and
to
then they
let
go,
them know.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, we'll let it pass.
Okay. It's
My
not a big
friend
deal.
Russell gets on to me all the time about it.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, dude, just let it fly, man. No one cares. I'm like,
I mean, yeah.
maybe.
I mean, I have been watching a podcast and then I hear noise. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah.
And I take out my headphones and it's like, it's not me.
Yeah, it's actually on the recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, so anyways, not to deviate. That's just my
it's
brain.
okay. Yes. Yes.
So you met Mike Tyson, and
yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the way what I believe,
come over there and box your ears like Robin Givens.
what I believe is that life doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. So when I saw Mike Tyson, and I was just thinking, man, he's a legend. I had to take a break from MMA for a while, so I was kind of gaining some pounds, and so when I saw him, I was like, man, this is a sign that I need to just get back in the gym. I just met a legend. And
Can we back up for a second? Because you said I had to take a break from MMA.
yes, mixed martial arts.
Yeah, I know what it means. We were just talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get into that. What you were doing mixed martial arts.
BJJ.
Yes, BJJ. I did Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, and a little bit of Judo.
How long did you do that?
I started when I was 15, so now it's been about 10 years.
So
I'm
you could
25.
definitely whoop up on me then, for sure.
Put you in a fucking triangle.
I got a
real
green
quick.
belt in Taekwondo.
Oh, really?
Many,
Whoa,
go.
you're dangerous.
Yeah, if you stand in the right spot, I can front kick you like nobody's business.
Yeah, my specialty has always been Muay Thai.
Okay.
I'm tall.
Yeah.
In my class, it was mostly men, of course, but out of the men, of course, they had stronger punches, probably stronger kicks, but I had the fastest punches and I had the highest kicks.
I bet.
And actually, I remember one day, it was test day.
Take a dude's head off.
And
just throw a fucking knee.
It was test day. Actually, I have kneed myself a couple times in the chin before.
What?
Yeah, sometimes I scare myself. I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Is that like a coordination thing?
No, it wasn't purposeful. I don't do
okay.
that purposely. That's weird.
Yeah.
But it was more so it was too much force, and then
Lost
I
control of your
fell.
limbs.
Yeah, but it was impressive to see that I could knee myself in the chin.
That's how positive she is, folks. She kicked herself or kneed herself in the chin and thought it was impressive. She was like, "Hey, Jasmon, that was really good. Hey, Jasmon, thanks." Not that you talk to yourself like that.
I don't talk to myself like
That's
that.
mean.
I do talk to myself, though. I think it's healthy to talk to yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
You can work a lot of shit out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, and I went through a period of time after my divorce, and I was married for 21 years, and so it was tough.
Of course.
It was definitely like
that's a lifetime.
Yeah. It's like losing a loved one.
Yeah.
But after that, like I went through a period of rough patch, and I was going to therapy, and then I started getting on podcasts. I didn't even know what podcasts were.
How old were you when you didn't know what it was?
I mean, this was probably 2015 is when that's when we divorced.
Oh, I see. Okay,
So,
that makes sense. Podcasts were new around that time.
Right,
so
but I'd never even heard of them, and I had a friend who was like, there's all kinds of self-help podcasts. That's not how she really sound. But, just for, entertainment purposes. So I was like, well, what's a friggin' podcast? I don't even know that. So I figured it out, and I found a bunch of them, and I don't remember why I brought that up now.
It's okay, but you saying that it
totally
helped you.
She asked when you got into podcasting.
Yeah, how you got into it, and then you were in a rough patch, so then you went to podcasts, and that helped you talking about it.
There was a therapy podcast. Therapist that had a podcast, and it really...
It helps, right?
Oh, yeah.
It helps talking about it, because when you bottle it up and it's just you, then it's tough. But
now I remember what the point was.
Yes, please tell your point. I was trying to help jog your memory.
It was called the Overwhelmed Brain. That was the name of the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, and he was really good. And it was just him on a microphone, kind of like I told you mine used to be.
Yeah, just you in a room by yourself, just talking.
Yeah, and but he was better at it than I was.
How?
Just he was smart. And he knew stuff, and he would have topics and like.
Oh. He would elaborate on a topic
when you finish an episode of that, like you felt better.
I see.
Like you were like, this guy gets me. It almost, and I actually wrote him a few times. I emailed him back and forth. We emailed, and I was just like, because we're not like celebrity, podcasters. We're not celebrity. We're just.
I was under the impression that you were.
No, not at all.
Wow, okay, but no, that's how I feel.
Well, you can feel that, but
that's how I felt. That was perfect timing.
Yeah, he's good like that. But yeah, it's just we're not. But I went back and forth with him. But one of his episodes, he was talking about like playing out scenarios in your head, and he was like, you can even go as far, and it got a little weird. And I was like, wait a minute, fella, are we? He was like, you can go as far as to think about killing someone, but as long as it never materializes.
He said that.
Well, he's like, you ever just been in line at a grocery? Maybe not you. I'm sure there's people out there, or like maybe. You have these intrusive thoughts about like taking your car and making a hard right right off the bridge. You never had intrusive thoughts?
I mean, when I was younger, I did actually remember. It's funny you say that. When I was like in elementary school, I remember we would go on field trips, and there was these twins that were my friends.
Yeah.
And they would sit next to the window. They'll always, whenever we go over the bridge, they'll say, tip over, tip over, tip over, tip over.
Night.
And yeah, actually one of them died recently. So it was just very
tipped
strange.
Over. Well, the point was, as long as you're, sorry.
Wow.
He didn't hit me with the rim shot.
I'll give it to you. Pretty dark.
No, it's kind of late.
Yeah.
Too late now.
I'm not a comedian, but I play one on TV.
But that was right on point.
Yeah.
So.
His point was with the whole thing. He went a little far with like killing people in your brain, but he's like, if it's in your brain, you see it. It happens, and then you start calculating all the bad things and all the good things and all the things that happen. Mm-hmm. So he's like, if you're thinking about doing bad things to somebody, work through those feelings in
Yes.
your brain. So he's like, everyone has the capability to do this. It's not, you don't need to, like, you don't have to go to a therapist. You don't have to, he said, I recommend it, but you don't have to. You can definitely think about, and once you get through those thoughts, usually when you come out the other end, you feel a lot better about the thing.
Of course, it's about evaluating your emotions. That's that's something that I do regularly. When I feel a certain emotion.
Oh, okay,
there he goes.
Paul Caliani.
He seems like a nice guy.
Yep.
He seems like a nice guy. But even then, that's something, it sounds so simple, but to a lot of people it can be very complicated because people don't have that discipline to stop and say, why am I feeling this way? Let's break this down.
Right.
I need to stop this emotion because at the end of the day, if you're around someone, you're thinking all those intrusive negative thoughts, you can feel the energy of that. Your thoughts produce energy. So
if you don't work through it in the right way, it'll definitely bring you down.
Exactly. Bring you down and those around you down. Because have you ever walked into a room with people and you felt so uncomfortable? Like, oh, I don't want to be here. Or you walked in a room and everyone's happy and you're like, wow, like this is awesome.
Every time I walk into a room, I feel uncomfortable with people. Like,
oh, did you feel uncomfortable with me?
No, not here. This is my safe space.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me into your safe space.
Yes, of course.
It's a privilege.
This is so much easier for me to, like, well, you go to collab, I go to collab.
Yeah.
But that's, or if you go to a bar or a club or something like that and you're like meeting someone for the first time, it ain't going to happen. Like, these types of conversations aren't going to happen.
Very rarely, yeah. Their brain is just...
and the music's so loud.
It's very surface level thinking.
Right.
But if you
I love these lights.
Yeah, but if you go
have to yell just so they can hear you.
Yeah, but I will say if you go to a self-development conference...
Well, that's different.
Yeah, I go to those and, I've spent a good bit of money going to them, like thousands of dollars, but it's worth it. The people that you meet, it's for multiple days, an experience. People that you meet are unmatched to people that you would meet walking down a sidewalk or the bar because they actually work on themselves.
So is that going to those seminars, is that where you got it in your head that you want to be an international motivational speaker?
Well, I've always known it. I've always enjoyed, I remember the first time I had that feeling when I was in high school and I had to present a project. It was, I forgot what the project was about, but I had to present it. And it was me and two other people for the project. And of course, when you have a project, then everyone's like, oh, I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. And then I'm just thinking to myself, I want to talk. I'll be the one to talk. Okay, you guys do the work. I'll do all the talking. Okay. And I go up on stage, well, not on stage, but in front of the classroom. And then when I start talking about it, and I'm looking people in the eye, and I felt this surge of energy and joy. And I was like, wow, like this is really fun. I was like, man. And then I got a really good grade because I presented it well. But I was like, huh. But that was when I had that spark. But the conferences kind of solidified it for me, like, I belong here. This is what I'm meant to do, because I can feel it. It's gonna sound cliche, but I can feel it in my heart. Like when I speak, my goal is not only for me. My goal is not only for you to hear me, but I want you to feel me.
Okay.
Like I want my words to touch your heart. I want my words to resonate with you. Like I want to connect with my audience with my words, with my emotions, because authenticity, there isn't enough of that in the world. I feel like everything is so superficial, skin deep, and especially as a female, it's what is just paraded on the internet and everywhere. The only way for us to,
have value.
Yeah,
that's dark, but it's true.
Well, I would say in the Western society to turn heads, to make people pay attention to you as if you aren't wearing any clothes. Yeah. Basically. Yeah. And growing up, I actually used to have low self-esteem. Okay. But growing up, high school, people staring at me more, and then I didn't really understand it, and then I just realized that I kind of came to myself where I realized that I'm worthy. Growing up, I didn't think that. I didn't feel that way. I always wanted to be this way or that way because the popular girls has have curvy bodies, and I'm
Right.
like, I wouldn't be like that. But now they have 3-4 baby daddies, which is totally that's their life. That's
Sorry
their
to
life.
laugh, but you're right. You hit the
And-
nail on the head.
But the thing is, it's like they had those banging bodies in school, and I'm thinking, I'm so glad I was a toothpick because I didn't bring that attention towards me. And since I didn't know better at the time, then I would have, it just, bad decisions would have been bounded to happen. So I'm
Right.
happy that I didn't blossom in high school. It kind of took some years.
Yeah, a lot of young people don't realize that beauty fades, like exterior
yeah.
beauty. I mean,
Yeah.
I used to be beautiful, and now I look like
Really?
this. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, photos? Kidding.
Yeah. I like her. No,
kidding.
yeah, you can keep up with the jokes. That's good. That's
Okay,
good.
we both got jokes.
Yay.
Whose jokes are better? Write it down in the
Yours.
comments.
I think yours probably at this point. But yeah, it's something that I wish that more people would, I guess, not focus on so much, is like the outward appearance.
Well, I would say that it is important, but it's not the only thing that's important. You know, the way
how
you present yourself.
Oh, get out of my brain. It's a mess in there.
I'm already in there, man. I'm already in there.
Oh my goodness. Careful. Well, we'll throw you a line because you ain't never going to find your way out. It's like a labyrinth.
A labyrinth. But even then, it's, man, what was I saying? Yeah,
How you
man, I
present
got
yourself.
lost. Yes, how you present yourself is important. It's you never get a second chance to make a first impression.
100%.
So that's why I've mastered making the best first impression, I believe. I mean, I haven't mastered it. I'm not going to say that. That sounds a little cocky. I'm not going to say that. But I'm very good. I'm very good at having a good first impression
Yeah.
because I come into it knowing it's not about me. I'm usually the one asking questions and wanting to know about you. I do very little talking about me, and I want to get to know what's going on with you. How are you feeling? What's going on in your life? Are
Right.
you okay? And people appreciate that because most people, their conversations consist of people talking about themselves.
Yeah.
They're so self-absorbed. And I'm at a point in my life where I understand it's not all about me.
Well, tonight it is. So,
Well, yeah. But in general, it's so much bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us,
Right.
I believe. And yeah, so.
When did you learn how to grade handshakes? Because that was the first thing you told me after I shook your hand. You got a really nice handshake.
Yeah, do you think I have a nice handshake?
You do.
Ah, thank you.
I was like, no one's ever commented on my handshake. Okay.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I was like, that had to have come from Dad.
Well, I mean, kind of, yeah. But yeah, he showed me how to shake a hand properly,
Yeah.
But also, I'm a real estate investor as well right now,
Oh.
so I shake a lot of people's hands, and so there's been so many times.
You have a
Jim,
large hat rack.
There's so many times, Jim, where I've shaken so many men's hands, and it's either softer than mine.
Or they do one of these things. where
It's
they
a
just-
limp. It's like a limp, seal. Just like I don't. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is like such a feminine handshake.
Yeah.
Like, why is my handshake stronger and better than yours?
Like, I go in and I want to.
Yeah, it was
You
firm.
want to connect right here.
Exactly.
When somebody does
Yeah,
one of
just
these,
like,
when they want
oh no, and a man doing
a
that.
yeah. Well,
It's
it's weird. It just feels
subtracts-
weird.
Yes, it subtracts something in my brain when
my
I'm like,
hackles
okay.
go up. Like,
Yeah, it's like I can't trust this guy. He don't got a firm handshake.
I mean, that's not that I don't trust them.
Well, not that, but it's just
A lot of times I'll go. Let's do that again.
you say that.
Yeah, let's try it again. And then you go. Ugh. You know, I don't spit
gosh.
on it.
Okay.
You can't do that anymore after COVID.
Actua.
Wow.
But even then, it makes a big difference. So yeah, I respect people with great handshakes because I shake a lot of people's hands, and so it's honestly, nowadays it's becoming more rare to
Yeah.
see people with great handshakes.
Well, my grandfather taught me how to shake hands.
Really?
Yeah, he's passed on now.
He did a good job.
Well, I mean, it was, he taught me a lot of lessons. You know, I was one of those kids that instead of hanging out with people my age, I was hanging out with my granddad. You know,
That's the way to go.
like
You learn more
older
things.
people. Yeah.
You learn more things.
And
I
he was
agree.
like, "Son, you're gonna meet women someday, and then you're gonna have to meet their dad."
Oh.
And you need to shake their hand. You look them in the eye. You stand
Uh-huh.
up. You look them in the eye,
Stand
and you
up
shake
straight,
their put your
posture.
shoulders back. And what's funny is the first time I met him,
Mm-hmm.
he did that very thing.
Really?
Yeah. His 3 other buddies, who I love still, but they didn't even get up out of their chair.
No.
Yeah.
How old were they?
What are y'all, 15, 16?
15, yeah, just 15.
But you was 15 at the time, and you shook his hand, stood up.
Yeah, that's what my
respect.
dad taught me.
That's respect.
Yeah.
And wait, and so the other friends, they shook your hand while sitting?
They didn't even shake my hand. But, I mean, he had my blessing.
Yeah, of course.
From
but
very shortly after that.
yeah.
I was like the son that you always wanted from an early day.
I never had a son. I've got 2 daughters.
Yeah.
Aw.
So, yeah.
That's how it should be. Good job.
Yeah.
Good
Love you,
job.
dude.
There needs to be more of that in the world.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good peanut.
Good peanut.
Try my best. Try my best.
Try my best.
Try my best.
That's good stuff. So, okay. Talk to me. I'm still curious about this. The international. That was one of the first things. I mean, other than Mike Tyson, that I picked up
Yes.
on. So, actually, let me ask you this: why do you think that people need motivational speakers so much? Because there's not a lot, but there's, a good handful, the really good ones that are out there. Like, what is his name? Tony Robbins. It's
Yes,
like everybody
yes.
knows him.
Yes, but I feel as though each motivational speaker speaks to a different group of people.
Okay.
So Tony Robbins may speak to some people,
But-
but then there's Eric Thomas that can speak to the other group of people. So I think the importance of motivational speaking is that it brings hope to people, because like you were saying earlier, there's so much negativity in the world. I don't watch the news anymore. It's all negative. Everything you see around you is negative people, negative moods, complaining, all bad stuff. And so when you see, and motivation, like I said, isn't for everybody. It doesn't touch everyone, but it touches those people that it's meant to touch, and it has the power to change people's lives. Like, I feel as though it's changed my life, because it gave me kind of like a purpose,
Okay.
a passion, a purpose, a passion. I feel passionate about it. That's why I'm excited talking about it, because it makes me feel amazing. I feel as though what the world needs is more people. Wait, what is it? I'm trying to think of this one quote. One second. I was about to get intense. 1 second.
Awkward silence.
No, I'm thinking. No, but okay. I can't think of the quote right now.
It'll
but
come to you.
The world needs more people that have come alive, because majority of the world, they're living in this monotonous, repetitive cycle of a job they hate, a life they hate, and there is no happiness. And so a motivational speaker tells them, wake up, you only live once, do something different. You want a better life, then you have to be better, you have to become better, you have to do this. David Goggins, he helps a lot of people.
Love that
Yes,
man.
he
I was scared to listen. I listened to the audiobook.
Oh,
I can't read books. I mean, I can read. I just don't have time.
it's okay.
And so I listened to the audiobook, and I'm glad that I did, because I don't know if you have.
I haven't, no.
So in between each chapter, the guy that actually reads the book for David Goggins, they have like a podcast in
that's
between
pretty
each
cool.
chapter. So he talks about the previous chapter and like what he was thinking about,
I love
and his
that.
like other stories that you didn't get in the book. So it's like it's bonus material. And I was so scared to listen to that audiobook, because I've heard him on podcasts before, and now you get juiced up. You get jacked up.
Yeah, exactly. That's how, like, I was going to ask you, when you listen to him, how does he make you feel?
Like I want to go lift a house.
Exactly. And so when you ask me, what's the purpose of motivational speakers, what do? They make you feel that way. They make you feel like you're invincible, because most people in your life will tell you the opposite.
Right.
Because they want you to lower your standards to theirs.
Right.
Because, if you don't see something, then it's hard for you to imagine it. Just like the person that ran the mile under however many minutes, I can't think of. But I think they ran a mile under a certain period of time, under 12 minutes or so.
Yeah.
And then everybody started breaking that.
Right.
Because they saw it was possible. And so then they did it. So motivational speakers, they are people that have broke out of the normality of life, and that's showing you, hey, come to the other side with me.
Yeah.
Like, it's better over here. It's happier. It's more fulfilling. Because if you stay there, you're gonna stay there for next 20 years and regret your life previous to that.
I believe David Goggins is an actual superhero, though.
Oh yeah, he used to be really fat.
He does things.
Yeah, he's insane.
If you could be the top athlete, and then you tell him your regiment, he's all right. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it double. You know.
Yeah. Like he's gonna one up you.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it is very inspiring. Him, there's a guy named Cameron Haynes, you know, and they all have. He's a bow hunter, but he runs marathons. Like they're friends, the two.
Okay,
of them.
I don't think I've heard of him.
There's a lot of like military people that I've listened
Jocko.
to. Jocko is a great.
Jocko
Dude,
Willink.
some of the things that he puts these videos on Instagram, and you watch them and you're just like you okay, I'm a piece of crap and I gotta do better.
I gotta do something.
I gotta do better.
Exactly. It wakes you up.
Yeah.
sense.
There's this one. It's called Good. I know you've probably heard it.
Oh yeah.
He's like, so it's. I can't remember. I'm just gonna. He's like, so you stubbed your toe. Good. Now you can figure out how to like not do that again.
Exactly.
Or whatever. It was basically talking about overcoming your the bad by saying good. I'm glad that I lost all my money in whatever happened, in the stock market crash.
Exactly.
We can't really talk about that because that's that actual thing that's happening. Stock market.
Hit people's hearts. They'll be like, whoa.
Yeah.
But even then, I agree because it's in those moments where something bad happens. Like
good.
Last year, I actually. I hurt my knee really bad during my mixed martial arts class, and I was doing a kick, and then I fell. My knee went pop, pop, and I hit the ground, and I could barely walk for an entire month. I couldn't work for an entire month.
What happened? I mean, did you break anything?
I didn't break anything, but it swelled up like a balloon, and it was
or something?
No, it was like the liquid. There was like liquid in there, and it just stayed swelled
you had
up.
To drain it.
It drained over time.
Okay.
Like they didn't drain it manually. They said that it's not that serious.
Okay.
It's gonna go like in time.
Right.
So I was a beauty consultant, and so I had like an arsenal of.
How many jobs are we up to, Pat? Did you start tallying?
17.
I've gotten fired from a lot of jobs though.
You're like Johnny Cash. I've been everywhere, man.
But that's why, I learned that. At a very young age, that jobs are not as secure as they seem.
No, they're not.
They are not at all because they will, even if they claim that you're family, we're all family, but there are jobs where they say that everyone's a family, but then they let go of people that's been working there for 10 years.
You're disposable. Everyone is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're disposable and everyone's a number.
Exactly. And so when I hurt my knee and I was laying in my bed and I couldn't work for an entire month, I laid there and I was for the first time in a long time, I felt useless. Like I told myself I cannot just lay here for an entire month and not be productive, not make money. So then I realized that being in that bed alone, in that silence, I was in noise for so long, working all the time, it gave me time to think.
Yeah.
And it really made me have an epiphany. And so...
What was that epiphany?
Yes, the epiphany. I've had a couple of epiphanies.
I imagine you have.
But this epiphany honestly has allowed me to now be a full-time entrepreneur like I am now, and I'm so grateful that it started with that moment, and if it wasn't for me hurting my leg, none of this would have been possible. And so I was looking it up. I was thinking, how can I make money if I can barely walk? And I came across this site, Professional Cuddling. I'm like, huh. And I click on it, I research it, and the lady that made the site, there's an entire course that you take and everything like that. And it was about helping. Have you guys heard of Professional Cuddling?
I have, and I have so many questions.
No.
No, okay, you haven't.
I've definitely heard of it. There was a whole like
job number 18.
Yeah, there was like a whole like it was like a news story about it.
Yes,
a long time ago. There was this lady that was like, yeah, I'm a professional cuddler, and everybody was like, immediately was like, yeah, that's not all you do, and it literally is.
Yeah, literally.
She just holds
professional,
people.
yes, professional cuddling. It's for people that, like we were talking about earlier, that have trauma in their past, that when they were younger, they had a traumatic event happen and they don't have anyone to hold. They don't have anyone
a hard
that
time
cares.
Connecting with people.
Exactly. Don't have anyone that cares, especially men. Men are very lonely today because they don't have, people don't see them, hear them. They're invisible, basically. And so I get to provide a space where they feel heard, respected, and just nurtured. And so actually there's an experiment called the Harlow monkey experiment. Have you heard of that?
I have never heard of that.
Have
Please
you heard
Google
of that?
Is that the one where they raise them in captivity with no parents and they raise them with parents?
Yes. I'm explaining. Okay. Thank you. Wow, you're smart.
Don't Google it. She's going to tell us about it.
Yes. So it was 1958. Harlow, he took the baby monkeys from their mothers as like a few hours after they gave birth, and he gave them 2 surrogate mothers. So one of the mothers it was cold metal, but the mother had milk coming from it. And then there's another mother that provided nothing for the kids, but it was just a terry cloth mother. So the skin of the mother resembled the monkey's skin. So they realized that even though the terry cloth mother didn't provide anything for the monkeys, when the monkeys were scared, they clung on to that mother. When the monkeys needed something to drink, then they would go get the milk from the other mother that had the milk, but then it would always cling to the terry cloth mother. It spent most of its time with the terry cloth mother. Why do you think that is?
It's the feeling. I mean, it's, you have cold. This is utilitarian. It's like, I come here for this.
Exactly.
For food. And
Pavlov's
that's it.
dog.
And then I go here for love and for affection.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because
which every human needs. We are social creatures.
Yes, platonic touch is very important. Having a hug, being a child and not having or experiencing ever being hugged in your childhood, it has psychological effects on you. It may seem something minor, but it does. Over time,
Why do you think an adult would not like to be hugged?
Because
maybe they got hugged too much as a kid?
No. I wouldn't say that. I would say probably trust issues, maybe, or even abuse. They don't like anyone that close to them. Like they have their guards up.
Yeah.
And so that's when I took the course for professional cuddling.
I'm definitely not a hugger.
Yeah. Okay. It's different reasons. Some people just don't like that. Don't like that, even if it's your significant other.
Yeah.
But the course that I took, it really went into depth as to the psychology thinking behind it, because when you hear professional cuddler, people just think, oh, you just hug people, it's so simple. It's not. It's psychological. It's about making them feel important, making them feel like they matter, because most of my clients have.
So you're still doing that?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
yes, I do it part-time.
Cool. Yeah.
I do it part-time, but I focus on like real estate investing.
I charge a lot.
Yeah, with that you can. I charge $130 an hour, and
that's a good fee.
Yeah. There's higher fees than that, like
sure.
$150, $200, but even then, it's my quality of service. I feel as though not only do I do that, but I also have a hot and cold percussion massage gun as well, because if they have like aches and pains in their back, then I can help with that. But even then, it's a service that's needed in the world today. I feel like more now than ever, because people are neglecting that psychological, especially men, are neglecting their emotions and feeling they don't have many spaces where they feel safe.
Yeah, especially in these days.
I agree, yes. And it's one of those things where, like, I've had clients, they've tried to kill themselves before, and they open up to me about it, and like it's like a no judgment zone, and I get to provide them to that, because when you share a secret with a stranger, then I guess for them it's relieving, because they know that people close to them, they'll be more likely to judge them because they know them, they see them a certain way. But being able to express that openly without judgment, it's different. Yeah. So, there is a lot of value that I bring for that.
No, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
The only my brain goes to, like, I'd be worried that there's creeps out there.
Yes, there are creeps, and I vet them out. Okay. Like, if they send me a winky face, then I'm like, no, I block them. Like, I'm very quick to block.
You don't like emojis?
No, I'm saying like winky faces. You know, like if they're like being very.
Oh, like.
Yeah, if they're being.
I got
weird.
your money. Winky face.
Yeah. If they're just being weird, or if I can tell there's ulterior. Excuse me.
Yeah, ulterior motives.
Yeah, ulterior motives. Some words are hard to pronounce.
It's true. Mouth noises. That's.
But even then, so I make sure in that aspect I'm safe. And my brother, he recently gave me 2 pepper sprays as well.
Good.
So I haven't used it. But
Good.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the way I see it, most of my clients, you know, I see it as like they are not like scary people. Like they are very
soft.
I want to use a different word.
Oh.
They're harmless.
Okay.
They're harmless. They
no
truly,
one's really.
Well,
ever
I
truly
understand.
harmless.
I understand what you're saying, but they are very, like
Docile.
Okay. Yes, like very
I
docile.
Only reason I keep saying
Like
these
timid.
things and like going back to that is because I am a father,
Of course.
and I always worry about my daughters.
Yes.
You know, it's never, even when they're, you know, like my oldest is married to a strapping young man who I know could take care of her, but she's not always with him.
Yeah, he seems cool.
He's very cool. But so
I'm all right.
I always worry.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what, I'm always going to be worried, and it's just part of being a parent. You're always going to worry about your kids.
Yeah, and
you know,
my dad's very accepting of it. You know, I'm thankful to have a father like him because he's very accepting, understanding, and you know, I've been able to. I mean, there were times when I was working my life and health insurance job, commission based, by the way.
Yeah.
Where I didn't make money for an entire month and a half, and professional cuddling saved me because I was able to buy food. I was able to buy gas that I needed. So it's one of those things where it's something that you don't hear much about, but for people that take it seriously, it has such a positive impact on people's lives if they actually take the time out to care. I'm a very caring person. I've been told when I was younger I was too sensitive, but now I realize that my sensitivity is an asset to not only professional cuddling, but being a real estate investor and in every area of my life.
Yeah.
So it's interesting now being able to use something that someone said was a bad thing for me.
It's in your toolbox now.
It's in my toolbox. And so many people are insensitive. They don't care. They're selfish. And I'm the complete opposite. So it makes me stand apart, and it makes me to be able to connect with those that are meant to connect with me.
Right.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I saw that news story so many years ago, and I completely forgot that there was even a thing.
It's still happening.
Professional cuddling.
Yeah.
How do you advertise for something like that?
Oh, it's on a website. I use a Cuddle Comfort. That's what the website's called. There's multiple websites, but that one has been the most successful for me.
Like lucrative.
Yeah, but it's the most. There's the most traffic there.
Okay.
Yes. And it's something where I'm here, but then I can go to California, and then I change my location, and then I see all the cuddlers or people that want to cuddle in California, and so it basically, the website itself kind of advertises you in a sense.
So you can go anywhere.
Yeah.
You can go all over everywhere and just hug people.
Yeah, but I would be careful about doing that in like Middle Eastern places. Like when I went to Dubai, I was like, I don't think I want to do that. I don't really understand what most of these things on these signs say.
No, and you got to be careful with it. Just any foreign land, you never know
exactly
what the customs and things like that are.
Yes.
Unless you're well versed in the customs.
Yeah, so
I'm just meaning maybe here in the United States.
Yeah, here I feel fine.
You could travel all over the U.S.
Yeah, here I feel fine. UK,
Unless you're in Mississippi, don't cuddle those people.
Okay, why?
I'm kidding.
Okay, I've never been there. What's in the middle? What's in Mississippi?
I'm making a joke about mountain people.
Banjos. And a lack of teeth.
Is that
mountains? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are some weird mountain people, but there's some cool mountain
people
there.
Where are they?
West Virginia.
West Virginia, not Mississippi. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of I say a lot, and I don't want to alienate West Virginians because I'm sure there's some lovely people, but
they might be watching right now. If you're from West Virginia,
nobody
please
watches.
Comment.
No one watches or listens to this show.
If you comment, I want to know how many teeth you have.
to a tree. I got a full set of 5.
Now there's a YouTube channel called Soft White Underbelly, and he goes and interviews this family.
Oh, yeah. What?
This family of inbreds.
Oh, I saw that. Oh.
Yeah, this guy's like 50, and he.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Was he really doing that?
Mm-hmm.
He only knows how to speak in dog. He knows what you're saying, but he doesn't know how to talk. Yeah.
Their family tree does one of these deals.
Oh, that's horrible.
I mean, we laugh. I guess that's their way of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Respect all ways of life.
There's a community that protects them up there.
Good.
So
Good on them.
Yeah.
I don't want to marry my second cousin or first or
I think
anyone in my family.
I think there needs to be some diversity. You
Yeah,
know?
we gotta get these genes. Get some new blood in these genes.
You know what's crazy? Like you were talking about the whole professional cuddler thing. Do you know who the Unabomber is?
Who?
Ted Kaczynski.
Ted Kaczynski.
No.
Well,
Who's that?
Do you know his backstory?
Well, you tell me because I know another backstory. But
as a kid, he had some sort of disease. I don't remember what it was, but he had to be like in an incubator for like a year or something like that, as like 7 or 8 years old, and nobody could touch him. And every time he cried, nobody, the nurses couldn't take him out.
He's like
a
bubble boy.
Yeah, he was a bubble boy. And so he, growing up like with his brother,
he didn't get affection.
When he came back, he didn't get affection for a year, but he was like very easily embarrassed, and he ended up becoming a Harvard professor, and they put him in the Harvard LSD studies.
Yeah.
Wow.
And with Tom Leary, I think Tim Leary.
Mm-hmm.
And the CIA hand in hand would interview this guy while he's on LSD, and they would embarrass him. They would flat out embarrass him
That's
to try to get reactions and studies.
So bad.
And then he ended up finding out what these people were doing with all this and trying to kill them all. He was shooting them all. And
What?
He was a Unabomber.
Did he do that?
Yeah.
He blew up was it a government building?
Yeah. Well, he bought a cabin out in the woods and some guns and just started hunting them down.
So I think the moral,
That's
the
so
story
bad.
he was telling was the
Yes.
fact that he probably needed a hug.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
If
I'm
somebody
sure
would
that-
just hug that guy.
Yeah, I seriously, because affection, not having a hug growing up in your childhood, like that really does wear on your psychological brain.
I imagine.
Yeah,
and being so young and being cut, like you're there, but you're cut off from everybody.
Yeah.
That's weird. It's got to be weird.
Exactly. So, yeah, if only the site was around back then, but I don't know. He probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
He's probably not one of those guys. You might want to. Probably want to steer clear.
No.
Steer clear.
Yeah. But even then, I want to get back into what we were talking about before the camera started rolling.
The vegan vegetarianism.
Well, not that, but the conspiracy.
Oh.
Turning the freaking frogs gay!
He's if you don't know who Alex Jones is, that's who he's.
Yes, I know.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
I'm familiar with him.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Infowars. Infowars.com.
Band.com. Band.video. No,
We're dorks.
Yes. Well, no, I wasn't saying that.
I have
you
a
guys
question
aren't.
for
You were making these faces.
What is
I make those faces too.
What is your surface level view of AI, and then what is a deeper view of AI?
For me?
Yes.
That's
Wow,
his
that
favorite
is
question.
a phenomenal question. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
So,
A needle.
drum
pulling
roll,
thread.
please.
We don't have one of those.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Okay, do it
Not
old
yet.
school, right?
Yeah.
So, I actually had a client. He's from China, okay? And right now they're going through this thing called Skyview. Are you guys familiar with what Skyview is?
Sounds like Skynet. Sounds like scary.
Very scary.
I've never heard of it. But
Okay. So,
enlighten us.
yes. So, Skyview, right now in China, as we speak, there are cameras everywhere.
There's a totalitarian dictatorship, and they're going to take over here.
Calm down. She's telling a story.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Thank you for the input. I appreciate that. It definitely hypes up my story.
I apologize.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But there are cameras everywhere, and it's so they capture everything to the point where if you're walking down the sidewalk the wrong way, what the cameras will do, it will capture your face.
Yeah.
And then it will deduct money from your bank account.
What?
Social
And
credit
it will,
score.
yes, and
Oh,
then it
no,
will
yeah, I have
subtract.
heard of this.
It will subtract your social credit score. to the point where if you try to go home, if you did a couple bad things like walking down the wrong way on a sidewalk or something like that, jaywalking,
or didn't say hi to somebody.
Yeah, of respect. Then you go home, you have to scan your face again, and it could reject you from going into your own home.
Oh, this is a Black Mirror episode.
Yes.
Not only that, but they
will
geolocate you, and then they will put your face on buses, public transport.
Yeah, they will blast it everywhere. They will blast it everywhere to where it's like kind of they'll embarrass you. They'll be like, this person bad, and to the point where you're so humiliated. Where you wouldn't want to go anywhere or do anything.
Can they do that to me from the podcast? Because that's great advertisement. I'm just saying. You shoot my stupid face over to China on a bus.
It's everywhere. Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
Yeah,
go to China and then walk down the wrong side of the sidewalk.
Yeah, we know you. Asshole.
But that is a reality right now. And it's so... It's funny you said it's like a Black Mirror episode.
Is.
Because
sounds like it.
The thing is, it's happening. Like just like Contagion. Have you guys seen the movie Contagion?
Yeah,
I have not.
Yes.
Seen that.
Okay. Contagion. Years before the pandemic happened. Years before, I think.
I think it was 2014.
Yeah. I was in middle school. At that time.
Yeah.
And I remember watching the movie Contagion, and this story seems to be very similar to what happened with the pandemic. It came from a bat. It came from China, and then the entire world got infected, and it was showing how the progression of everything. And so it was, in a sense, it's kind of like we're being told exactly what's going to happen before it happens. Kind of like, okay, this is for entertainment, guys. Watch this. Ha 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 ha.
There's very real like
they're pre-programming us with subliminal messages and
yeah. Well,
they're preparing us. Yeah.
And media spits out like disinformation, like movies that are like. Like they'll have aliens and all this crazy stuff, and we think the aliens look like little gray men with big bulging eyes. Who knows what they look like?
Yeah.
Because that's what they want us to think.
Yes.
And everybody has that. When I say alien abduction, just give me your first like thought after alien abduction. What's the first thing you think of?
Ice cream truck, a man abducting me.
Okay, see, I think of anal probes.
Okay, yeah, it was a joke. It was a bad joke. But yes, basically,
everybody knows the trope of anal probes.
Yes.
Why? What do they have to gain by doing that? It's something that was made up in a movie, and it's a trope.
Yes,
it's like,
it is.
And it's a popular one. So everybody just automatically assumes you're going to get abducted and get your butt will be fondled. And it's just the weirdest thing, like.
I don't know about the last part, but.
Well, that's the anal probe thing,
Where can I sign up for this?
Where'd you get that from? I mean, where?
The anal probe?
Yeah.
It's like in every movie.
It's like more of like a folklore.
And it's almost folklore now because so many people have said, I was abducted and they probed me and this and that and did all these experiments to me. And I'm just like, but why? Why would they do that?
And why would Jay put you back to tell the story?
Right.
Wouldn't they just get rid of the evidence?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I think that they're here and they've been walking among us for years. And, I think we're the aliens, dude. Listen. All right. We're about to go deep.
Please. I'm so ready.
So
I have
this
my
is
gear
one
on.
theory. And I kind of like, you kind of like, humans are not from Earth. I mean,
where are they from?
I don't know. We don't know. We're definitely a civilization with amnesia.
Do you know what your circadian rhythm is?
Yeah.
Okay. They say that we're more in tune with Mars's circadian
Oh,
rhythm.
well, I don't doubt that.
Oh, wow.
But
I
you
didn't know
think
that.
about this, everything on this planet, everything on this planet is trying to kill us. Like everything. The oxygen, the sun, the UV rays burns us and gives us skin cancer. We're very soft.
Well, okay, you said the UV rays is burning us, giving us cancer. So you think the sun is bad for us?
No, I know it's not bad for us, but
Okay.
I'm just saying like it's a common thing. Like it will burn you.
Well,
If you stand outside in the
course.
sun long enough, you will burn.
but
Yeah.
I will say that you know, and I guess this is probably just from a vegetarian perspective, but your diet has a lot to do with how the sun affects your skin and your body, because if you're eating a lot of processed foods, then those foods, those toxins, you're sweating those toxins out from your skin.
Right.
And so it's kind of like they're sizzling. When you're in the sun, it's like you're sizzling because all those toxins are burning. So when people think that the sun burns them, it's usually their bad diet is expelling out of their pores, and the sun is just
Cooking that stuff.
Yeah, cooking that. But if you're eating, if you're eating vegetables and fruits, I'm not trying to push my lifestyle into you guys.
You won't,
but if
don't
you're,
worry.
yeah, but
You're safe.
But if you're eating certain foods, then it kind of helps it. Like if you sweat, then the things that are expelling from your skin, it complements the sun. But of course, don't stay out in the sun for all day, because you'll still burn.
Vitamin D, which you get from the sun, is very good.
It's healthy in certain amounts.
Right.
Yeah.
But it can be very harmful to be out in the sun for long periods of time.
Yes. Common sense.
Right.
Yes.
And that's what I'm saying. Like there's that, and then like the fact that like you look at animals that their hide is tough.
Their hide.
Their skin.
Oh, their skin.
It's tougher
Okay.
than ours.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can still be pierced with an arrow or a bullet or whatever, but most skin of animals is very, very tough.
Yeah, but is that just from evolution of us hunting them for thousands and thousands of years?
It's possible.
And
but
like the whole skin thing. But imagine
don't try to shoot down my conspiracy theory, buddy.
Just imagine a Viking.
She already blew it out of the water.
Imagine a Viking sailing down to Puerto Rico and spending a couple of days on the beach. They would be fucking sunburnt because they're from like a region.
Yeah, the Nordic lands.
Yeah, it's more cloudy. So,
but I feel as though we've adapted to this point. We weren't always this soft and this, fragile. But our environment, since we're spoiled, basically living in this nice
ever since
house civilization came about, then we changed, because initially I'm sure we weren't always like this, but we have all these things to protect us from the wilderness, so we've adapted to our environment. Just like a house cat isn't the same as a wild cat out in the street. Like they've adapted to their environment, just like how we have.
You have a caveman step on a Lego, he's not going to do anything.
Yeah,
you step on a Lego, and it's like the end of the world.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, you're right, and I do believe, which kind of, why another reason why I think maybe we're the aliens is what we're not done evolving, right?
Yeah, no, we're not. Now since everybody. I can already see the evolution taking place when I go outside in large groups of people. Everyone's head is jutted out and looking down at their phone. It's all happening right now.
Add in Elon Musk's neurochip, the Neuralink.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about this? You've heard about, you had to have heard about this.
Partly.
So he wants to install, well, not on everybody, but like it's supposed to be to help people that are like have lost eyesight, hearing, and it's you put these little diodes or whatever inside your brain.
No.
And this chip interfaces, and it closes the circuit, so it will actually be able to restore vision, restore your hearing. There's one guy that actually has this installed in his head.
I bet there is.
He's a paraplegic, isn't he?
Well, he's paralyzed from the waist down.
I thought it was the neck down.
Or neck down.
So since he got installed, what magical things have happened?
He likes to play video games.
Yeah.
When he used to have to play with his mouth, and he would had a straw that he would blow through or suck through and then move it like this, and that was how he played his video games. Now he's actually interfacing with his computer, and he can just, wherever he looks, you can see the mouse or the cursor moving around with his eyeballs. So, synchronicity.
Just put a detonator in there, and then it's like say one wrong thing.
Well, eventually it's going to be like the iPhone, or
no, it's not.
You don't think so?
No.
I believe it will.
No.
You don't think humans will be integrated with machines one day?
Well, I believe that, but
this is the start.
No, I believe that, but I wouldn't say it'll be like the iPhone, because I don't think everyone will subscribe to that way of living.
No, not everyone.
Yeah, I
No,
wouldn't.
But eventually you think about it, like, I had an old flip phone, Everybody else had either
flip phones are cool.
I know, but when I was younger, I didn't have a phone, a cell phone, like not a smartphone until after I was married. You know, I always had like a little, I went from pager to cell phone, and they were just different. It was just buttons and a little tiny screen, so you could see, so you could see the number you're typing. But and it was just different. And then when the smartphones came out, and I'm still lugging around this gigantic phone, and there, people like human nature.
People laughing at you.
They laugh and they go, I can't believe you're still using that.
Look at that.
That old Zach Morris phone. And so you eventually cave and you get one. And then you realize, hey, this is kind of cool. So that's when I say everybody eventually will go that way. It's going to be like it's going to be all the rich people first. They'll get it. They'll get them because they can afford it. And then when it becomes more affordable, you're going to be able to go down to your local T-Mobile and get a
can you insert the chip, please, right here?
Right
into my brain.
Right.
Ow, it kind of hurts.
Yeah.
So just hurt for about a week.
Yeah, it's about the size of a quarter.
Yeah, it'll probably hurt, but just put this gel on the incision and you'll be fine.
They actually cut part of your skull away, and that chip replaces the part of your skull that's missing.
It's like another Black Mirror episode.
It's totally like that.
Oh, but no, they're not episodes. They are more like
long drawn out chapters.
But they are more like just futuristic little scenes. We're getting glimpses of the future. Yeah, dystopian, futuristic future. Basically.
Yeah. What about simulation theory?
Simulation.
That there's a conspiracy theory. There's some people that they believe that we might be in a simulation.
Oh, just like that one Black Mirror episode where
Probably.
I'm talking about where. I think the lady was serving a sentence or something, and so the guy had her live the same day, like hundreds of times.
Probably.
And it was just like a cycle, and couldn't get out.
Probably more like the Matrix.
I see. Well,
where we're actually, because like you've seen like the VR stuff, and it was clunky at first. A lot of boxy stuff, nothing
like
real
the Oculus.
And when you look at the characters inside, it was like real animated. You could definitely tell.
But now there's meta, and it's getting more real. And
it's very realistic looking, and then if they keep going that direction, eventually it's going to be undiscernible which is real and which is not real.
I understand what you're saying. Like with AI, you can
deep fakes.
Yeah, exactly. Fakes where it looks like they're saying something or it sounds like them, but it's not them. And so, I can understand that. So, I think it'll start heading in that direction where it's very hard to tell, like what's what. But there will still be you'll still be able to tell a little bit. Like it'll be harder to discern what's real and what's not, but there will still be a clue. Like it's not precise.
Right, but. If it gets to that point and people start thinking back and they're like, well, were we always in a simulation? Like, are we in a simulation right now?
No.
Because I'm going to tell you, there's some, you were talking about that one little weird thing that doesn't make any sense, and that's what they say about the Mandela effect. About the Mandela effect. Like
Please tell me.
The Berenstain Bears and the Berenstain Bears, Sex in the City, Sex and the City. What's the other? Oh, the monocle on the Monopoly guide. The Fruit of the Loom logo with or without the cornucopia. There's all these things that people remember from their childhood. They're like, no, I swear, I remember it was this way.
It was Coles with an apostrophe S.
Right.
Yeah.
And and then now it's this way, and the companies swear, nope, it's always been this way. And
I see what you mean.
But the Mandela effect started because everybody thought that it was Joseph Mandela, and he died in prison. Yeah. And then they ended up finding out that he didn't, and he whatever, and he died somewhere else. So it was like, wait a minute. Yeah. Everybody remembered him dying in here, and then.
I feel as though with that, I don't believe that we are in a simulation. I feel like it would be harder to discern if you have all these different chemicals in your body, and if you're like constantly, I believe in a third eye and that sort of thing. So if you're constantly shielding your third eye and not being able to be your authentic self in your most sober and vulnerable form, I feel as though I've become more aware in that sense. So, But
you think you'd be able to see through the simulation?
I know I can.
Oh.
I know I can. It's a feeling. It's an intuition. Do you trust your intuition? Do you have an intuition?
Most of the time, yeah.
Yes, but even in your intuition, it tells you something's not right. Like there's been times where I've had dreams. At times, I've had lucid dreams. At times, have you had a lucid dream before?
Very rarely, but yes.
Okay.
When you do, like, they tell you how to, like, get it going. Mm-hmm. Like when you could walk through a doorway, you knock on the door 3 times and then go through the doorway. That way, when you're in your dream, and that's, you do the same thing, and then you wake up.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I'm in a dream. Okay.
But it's so interesting, actually, Jim. Got to throw your name drop in there.
I know. I love how she keeps calling me by my first name. I love that.
Oh, is that? I mean.
No, it's good.
Okay,
no,
I just want to make sure it's respectful.
Yeah, no, it's
great.
Perfect. It's fine.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
It's just weird. Normally, nobody does that. So
Really?
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's.
I expect all of my next guests coming up to call me by my first name.
Do that. Jim, Jimmy. I'm not gonna call you Jimmy.
Jimbo, if you.
Okay.
Yo.
But even then, I don't know if you guys ever experienced this before, but a lot of the times, whenever I'm in a dream, and it feels so real, but then I realize there's a moment in a dream where you realize that this isn't real. Mm-hmm. This is a dream.
Yeah.
And in that moment, it's so interesting. In that moment, that's when everyone and everything turns against you. And it's like everything is trying to come after you because now that you've figured it out, it's like, we have to capture you in a sense. Like you are the enemy now. And it's so interesting that happens in dreams because I feel as though even in real life, as soon as you start singing a different tune than everyone else and you start realizing certain things and how things are done and how, what I've learned is that, like you were saying, we're surrounded by poison. The air is toxic. The water we drink is toxic. There's certain water that you should drink, but I think that drinking fruit juice is better for your body along with coconut water because of the electrolytes. Because if you just drink water by itself, then it's mostly blank shots unless it's coconut water and certain things like that. But I don't want to go on a tangent. But even then,
yes, you do.
But even then, with me speaking this way, then it's like everyone turns on me.
Oh.
And they're just like, they look at me like I'm the weird one, kind of like in my dream, just like, wait, like what? This is weird. Like, like you're talking different. This isn't. We don't like this. Like, go back. Right. Either you go back or
fall in line.
Exactly. Fall in line with everyone else. And I realized that if you do that, then you'll be just as unhappy, if anything, more unhappy than 100%. Everyone else around you. Because most people are unhappy.
Yeah, you gotta follow your heart. You gotta be true to yourself, 100%. Exactly. That's as I got older in my life. It took me a long time to learn that. I was always like a people pleaser most of my life.
No, I don't do that anymore.
And no, I mean, nor do I.
Good.
But
good job.
No, I've actually almost gone the complete and opposite way.
Oh, you're a meanie. You're a bully.
No. I'm just if it don't serve me, it's gone. Bye bye.
Oh yeah. So you don't have time for it. Time. No. Actually, I would love to ask you guys a question.
Please do.
Everyone answers this question very much differently.
Okay.
So
you go first, Pat.
Okay. Yes, Pat, you'll go first.
Okay.
So, labeling these 3 things from chronological order of importance, how would you label these 3 things? Money, energy, time.
I would say energy, time, and money being 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
As
why?
energy the most important? Because I gotta have energy so I can have time to do shit. Money will come later, in my opinion.
Good job.
Money come, money go.
High five.
So, yeah, that's the way I feel.
See, I think time, energy, money. Because I mean, and I think that has something to do with age. It literally at 47 years old, I think about how it seems like only yesterday I was just a little guy, walking around in my diaper, just at the beach or whatever with my mom, and it just seems like the time. It's like a time warp. Life is like a time warp, and
it is.
You don't realize that it's escaping you until it's too late, And I never wanted to be that. The one thing I feared the most in my life is being on my deathbed going, I just need 5 more minutes, you know. Mm-hmm. I got to do this thing. I got to do this thing, you know.
It's like it's too late now.
Yeah, you can't. You have to experience everything that you want to experience in life while you're alive. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, of course, tomorrow's not promised.
Exactly.
So there's no time like the present.
High five. Because actually, the way you set it up, that's exactly how I set it up in chronological order. Mm-hmm. Time, energy, money.
Yeah.
Because time, I realized how important time is, because without time, you don't have time to think, to, you know, like spend time with loved ones, to do these things, because that's the main thing that we trade to companies, to jobs, our time. Yeah.
It's the most valuable commodity.
It really is. It really is. And
like, honestly, you could have just dropped money off of that whole thing.
Yeah, seriously, because the thing is, the big companies, big corporations understand that time is an asset. But people that don't have that mindset, that don't understand, that think their time is just worth $15 an hour or $20 an hour, it's like, no, like, if you have, what I realized is when I had the time to myself to actually figure things out, then I realized, like, man, I really wasted my time at these places.
Yeah.
And wasted not only my time, but my energy. They want to take your life force. I've literally felt my life force leave my body from working these jobs, because I'm working 16-hour shifts and I'm feeling so drained. So I don't feel like doing anything, you know? So the energy is so important, because you can have all the time in the world, but if you don't have energy, then you won't get anything done. And then the third, money will come. Money will come if you use your time and energy wisely to go towards the direction that you know that you're meant to be going in, you know?
So you said you learned all those lessons from doing all those other things.
I learned a lot of these lessons from, my mistakes, my failures.
Right, but you said you wasted a lot of time. You said that.
Well,
you said I wasted a lot of time. But what the point I'm trying to make is, if you look at it from the fact that you didn't actually waste time.
Yeah, I didn't see that. I didn't mean that. But
you learned from it.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I should have chose my words better. But
no, I'm just trying. You're schooling me. I'm going to throw it back on you a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you. As you should, Jim. Thank you.
Now you can put that into your motivational speech.
Yes, thank you. But no, in all seriousness, you're right. None of it is a waste of time, because all of this made me the person I am today.
Yeah. I had a point in time when I thought to myself, I was so callous and upset and depressed about being divorced, and I didn't want that.
Yeah.
I thought when you get married, I was like, this is forever. And it's, not always. Some people, yeah.
Yeah.
But for me, and I was so upset, and I told myself, I can't believe I wasted all that time.
But you learned from it.
But I started thinking about all the things I gained in that time. Mm-hmm. I gained a lot of knowledge about what I don't want in a relationship. Mm-hmm. I gained 2 beautiful, fucking awesome daughters. Mm-hmm. There's a lot. I learned a lot, and I gained more than I lost. So, it's a mindset is a powerful thing.
It's everything, because shifting your mindset made you thankful. And when you have more of a gracious attitude to being thankful of the good and the bad things happening to you, then that only attract what you are.
Right.
So if you're in a negative mindset, then you're only going to attract more negative things. Those are the things that will be spotlighted to you in your life. But if you shift your mindset like you did, then more good will come into it, because now you're seeing things from a different lens.
Yeah, and the problem, I think, in today's, just always, is that it's so hard to envision it. It's so hard to see it because you're too close to it. Which is where therapy comes into play.
Of course.
I've been going to therapy since I was a little kid.
Well, that's good. It's good.
Yeah, my mom, so much so that my mom started working for. They were a married couple. One was a psychologist, one was a psychiatrist, and we would go to them, my sisters and I. A lot of it had to do with our father and all this stuff. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize it at the time. I didn't know why. I was like, why are you making me? It was like going to church. I was like, I don't want to go to church, but I would go every Sunday, and it just wasn't my thing. And when I realized I didn't have to, I didn't go. But what's funny is the therapy has been way better for me than any religion or anything like that. So I still, I go when I feel like I need to go, and when to kind of, you feel it coming on, like, okay, I got to go talk to my buddy over here.
And it's good that you can sense it when it's coming on, because you're like, okay, like we need to work this out now instead of later.
Being cognizant of it definitely helps for sure. Yeah. But like I said, it's just like, it's like playing a video game. If you're playing the video game and someone's sitting right next to you and they're going, dude, you missed that thing. Dude, you missed the thing. You're going to miss all these things because you're too close to it. You're tunnel vision, and they're sitting further back and they can see the whole picture or the map or whatever. And there's a lot of, different analogies I could make.
Yeah, it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame.
Right. You should write that down. So before, I don't know what time, how long we are in, but I definitely want to hear some poetry pretty soon.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have anything, like memorized or?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
See, I always had to read it like this.
It's over time you learn to memorize it, but okay. 1 second. I have to get in the zone. 1 second. Okay, you ready?
Do you want me to not look at you?
No.
Okay.
You can look at me. Don't worry. I'm not shy. Not timid. Okay. I have found a man behind the curtain, progressively killing the ignorant, who avoid being different, that are uncomfortable in their... Wait, excuse me. Okay, I'm going to start over.
Okay.
I'm going to start over. 1 second. Okay.
You take as many tries as you need.
This will be my last try.
We got all night. I do. He doesn't.
Okay. I have found a man behind the curtain, progressively killing the ignorant, who avoid being different, that are comfortable in their predicament, that more often than sometimes become belligerent, because all those processed sugars they are eating are depleting their brain cells. Artificial dopamine compels them while disregarding their future health repairs, not even their health insurance could take care of.
Damn.
It was never meant to be like this. Remove anything from your shelf that has an unbelievably long list of ingredients that doesn't belong in your body. Your body is your temple. So please, watch what you put into it. Plain and simple.
That was good. That was so good.
Thank you.
High five.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
I could see the emotion in it.
I thought you were done when I said damn, and then
I
you
know.
had
I
more.
was like, no, you got to know, man. There's dramatic pauses, bro.
I was like, holy
Yes,
shit,
there's pauses for a reason.
Sorry.
You got to digest the words.
And that one was titled "The U.S. Healthcare System."
No, actually, it's not.
But what did you guys think?
It would be. I would probably title it "Ode to the U.S. Healthcare System."
There you go.
No, I love that. I think that it's you're being creative and you're like you're putting out there the thought and the the fact that you actually care about people's health and well-being.
Yes.
And that they should probably do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny when you were talking about some of that. Not funny. I didn't mean to.
It's okay. No.
You know what I'm saying.
I do.
But like their son,
Mm-hmm.
he had like hyperactivity and all this stuff going on.
Oh.
And like really bad like
Tantrums.
episodes of just breaking down at the simplest stuff.
Really?
Yeah, he had an allergy to red dye, blue dye, yellow, green, all that stuff. So
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good
So
because
they
you
went
out.
guys got to see. You guys look at ingredients of things,
They
yes.
do.
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So it helps.
Well, when they told me they went through all their cabinets and everything and
Oh,
threw
yeah.
anything out that
Whole
had,
Foods,
we don't even buy it anymore.
Whole
No.
Foods, farmers markets.
We'll let
Yeah.
it slide every now and then at like a birthday party on a cupcake or something like that.
But usually what happens when you do?
Oh, it's craziness for the next
Yeah,
24
he
hours.
goes to crazy town.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
you don't want
But
that.
I have noticed a marked difference in him.
Really.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was just like overactive, and like he said, he would just at the drop, you say the wrong thing, and he would,
Exactly. And food plays such a major part in have you guys heard that saying before that says your stomach is your second gut? Have you guys heard that before?
No.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, excuse me. I said it wrong. Your stomach is your second brain.
Oh, your second brain.
Yeah, your
your
second
gut,
brain. I
yeah.
said it wrong the first time.
Well, you
But
have
your-
all these microbiomes.
Yeah, exactly. And your stomach affects your gut, affects your brain.
Did you know that your heart has neurons in it?
I did.
Like your brain? Is it
Yes.
neurons?
Well,
It has something that your brain has. I can't remember what it is. Shit.
it's okay.
Never mind.
It's okay.
Shut up, Jim. Stop trying to sound smart, Jim.
It's okay. But even then, the food that you eat affects you a lot, especially emotionally, just like with him jumping around, acting crazy, emotionally, but also psychologically.
Yeah.
Like it affects your mood. It makes you feel depressed. That's why most people are depressed because the food that you're eating, it's not nourishing you. If anything, it's all these chemicals that your
It's
body
like drugs.
can't.
It's like taking drugs.
Yeah, it is like drugs. Because whenever I would have my fast food binges late at night when nobody would see me, then I would always have this sense, like my mouth would literally water when I see Arby's. I'm just
My
like,
mouth
man.
watered as soon as you said it.
See? And so I
Oh,
realized.
I'm definitely an addict.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Because that's kind of your reaction to it. It's like, man, I could really use that right now. But it's giving you the chemicals that they put in those foods and other foods like chips, air food. It's meant to be addictive. They want you to buy more because at the end of the day, you're a customer.
Yeah.
They want you to stay a customer. So.
Sorry.
Oh.
I was gonna say, and humans have like they have like
oh,
a
sorry.
we have like a prehistoric relationship with salt, sugar, fat,
Yes.
all that stuff. Humans are so attracted to it because of the way that we progressed millions of years. So,
Yeah.
you know, whenever there's an abundant supply of something, they just ate as much of it as they could.
They go crazy.
Well, some people think that the consumption of meat products and things like that helped us to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you believe in evolution.
Okay.
There's also the stoned ape theory.
What's the stoned ape theory? Please educate me.
The back in the day, the apes were, they would come out of the trees to forage, or for food or what have you.
Okay.
They started eating. They would find the patties from a dung patty. They would flip them over, and there would be psilocybin mushrooms in there.
Oh, I see.
And they started eating them.
Wow.
And they say it opened up their mind, and then shortly, we're talking a million years later, they started like using weapons or tools to kill, and then they were eating proteins, meats, instead of just foraging for vegetables and everything.
Okay.
But I mean, that's not like
mushrooms are, I get
a
it.
case
yeah.
against
Oh, no, not at all.
vegetables.
I'm not.
I love my vegetables.
Yeah, they're good for
I
you.
also love my meat.
And that's okay.
And you're going to die sooner, man.
Well, no.
I might.
It's the thing is, how, actually, I want to see how you guys answer this.
Oh, here's another quiz.
Yes.
I did not know
Would
there
you-
would be pop quizzes.
Quiz.
Would you guys rather live for a good time or a long time?
Well, I'd like to have a good time for a long time. You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather have a long time.
Yeah. I mean, you could, I feel like, and when I say good time, what I mean is, going out, drinking, drinking as much as you want, doing all these quick dopamine hits to make you feel good. That's what I'm referring to in that sense because.
No, I'm more on the long time thing.
Okay. Yeah. Because I feel as though, I've, like my ex-boyfriend, he was on the side of I'd rather live for a good time instead of a long time because, he lived a very regretful existence. But even then, because for him, it was just like he can't wait to leave kind of thing, And for me, the way I saw it was, well, I wouldn't want to just live for a good time, quick dopamine hits, because I care about my quality of life.
Sure.
I wouldn't want to have a shorter life and then I'm in pain for the most of it because all the things that I've done for those quick dopamine hits destroyed my body, and now I'm 30 years old dying, and it's not worth it. But to take care of yourself, to show yourself love and respect, over a long period of time and put good things in your body and your mind and your soul, then I feel as though that's worth it. So quality, I prefer quality over, well, I can't really use it in that instance, but quality.
Yeah, I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, quality is more
but
important.
I will say where we're at right now, and America is not set up for people to be healthy. It's just not. It's actually, I mean, what was it? When did that change? When was it World War II? I can't recall. But at any rate, like when fast food was invented, and then they're like, oh, wait a minute. And then when people started realizing that they could control us by like food and things of that nature, but you look at it like this, just simple. Here's a simple example.
Yes.
Fast food it's quicker, it's cheaper than going to a Whole Foods and buying a bunch of ingredients, and then you have to take it home and cook it. So a lot of people that have to, they would prefer to just do that. Or
a lot of people are lazy.
It's true, but even processed foods are cheaper. They make them cheaper. They do it on purpose.
Yes, they do. And sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, you're good. I mean, you think about like over in Europe, like half the stuff that we eat here is illegal over there.
Yes, I know, because of the chemicals that they put in there. Even in Italy, they mostly eat pasta and bread like us. But over here, why is it everyone is so fat? And then you go to Italy, everyone eats pasta and bread, but they're so fit. Because the chemicals.
Well, there's that,
and then they have an active lifestyle as well.
Well, there's that too. They're eating
and they don't have
heirloom pasta, heirloom wheat.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a little bit different. It's not like the same.
It's more, it's way more organic.
Less gluten in it, but. Listen, I was raised on a farm with my grandparents for a few. We lived on there for like 3 years with them. I could tell. And we ate all, like everything. We would go to the farmer's market and pick our own vegetables.
Oh, wow.
We had pigs and cows and stuff like that, and that we would take to slaughter. I mean, we didn't do it, but my granddad would take them to slaughter, and then we would eat, old Bessie, or whatever. But everything was fresh from farm to table, and so I grew up like that. That's
a lot better because you're getting the animal freshly slaughtered. Way different than going to the grocery store and then you're picking up meat. This animal died probably about a year ago, but it's processed. It was dyed to make it look fresh and red, but typically the real meat actually looks gray because it's decomposing.
Well, it looks more purple, but yeah.
Yeah, purple, but it's decomposing.
Yeah,
so
no, and I just saw this thing on X today. Also, I was on that mug when I was on my lunch.
How you emphasis X?
Well, he gives me a hard time if I call it Twitter. But I was on there. I was on there, and it was an article about, and which is so funny because I used to work for a grocery store, and I already knew that they do this like years ago. I've known, but this article just came out about how they gas the meat. They put it into a like a sealed bag, and they gassed them so that it lasts longer. It's like a gas preservative. And then they suck all the air out of it and seal it, cryovac. And that's what you buy in your grocery store.
It makes me want to vomit.
Yeah. It's not good.
Do you have a paper bag for me to do that?
Just do it on the floor. Don't worry. I'll have my little dog. I'll have the little guy. He'll come in and eat it.
Be a nice little decoration for your next guest.
It's a story. I'll just put some Febreze on it so there's no smell.
Call it a day, yeah.
Call it a day. Don't worry. Just step over that. That's a momentum.
It's a souvenir.
Yeah. When Jasmon is overseas and she's like, everyone knows, and and knows your name, and you're out there.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna tell them this was my very first podcast.
I'm gonna cut that carpet and put it into a frame. That's what I do, man. We keep little momentum, little mementos.
I think that's what really makes it special.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting to watch her throw up.
Huh?
I'm still waiting to watch her throw up.
It was a joke.
I know. That was a joke too.
She was a joking. She wasn't really gonna throw up. Although it is nasty.
Yeah, no. But even then, and see, it's so interesting because, on Netflix, they have these very few little documentaries like how hot dogs are made. And then people that eat hot dogs watch it. Ew, that's disgusting.
And go eat hot dogs.
What are we having tonight? Hot dogs. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
I love a good beef hot dog.
It's one of those things where it's.
You got to get the kosher ones, though.
Kosher, yeah. Big difference.
Yeah. It's blessed by a rabbi.
What?
It's blessed by a rabbi.
Blessed by a rabbi?
Yeah.
Okay. What does that mean?
A rabbi?
Well, okay. I know what you mean.
That's what kosher means.
Oh,
it's part
okay,
of it.
Okay.
It's also the way they prepare the meat. It's different. Like
it's kosher.
They bleed the meat.
Oh, okay.
Before after they slaughter the animal, they hang it by its feet, and then but everything has to be kosher. Like you can't touch the knife that you cut the beef with, can't touch fish or anything else or anything that's not kosher.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a very interesting process, but not to get into that because I will go down that road.
I appreciate you explaining the whole slaughtering meat process to a vegetarian.
No problem. This is part of life, and you should be able to stomach the thought because it's out there.
Yes, I know. I used to eat meat. I used to eat a lot of it.
You were a heathen. You were a heathen like me.
No. I wouldn't say that. It's just everybody's body is different, and so certain diets work best for
100%.
others. And I realized that I would feel feel very sluggish when I would eat.
Well, you definitely seem like you've got plenty of energy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's partially, especially excitement, because not only I was having trouble sleeping last night. Actually,
Aww.
Yeah. Not only because to be on this podcast, my very first podcast, this is like such a big deal for me, and my dad also thinks it's a big deal. Not everyone thinks it's a big deal, but it's a big deal.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yes, and I am so thankful and grateful that you invited me here. And also tomorrow, I'll be getting my first property as a real estate investor under contract.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yes. So, it's kind of just like healthy dopamine hit in those ways because I know I'm making progression in a sense, and stepping out of my comfort zone. Like, I've never been on a podcast before. You've done millions of these. It's like another day.
A lot.
You know, but even then, you are a great host. I feel like I've seen your previous episodes, and so the way you conduct it, it's very nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't cry much.
No, but
you
even
won't
then,
get me on camera.
Yeah, but even then, no, it truly means the world, and so I'm just.
Well, I'm happy that you came, and thank you for agreeing to come on the show and sit with me and talk for how long we've been talking.
2 hours 7 minutes.
See?
Wow. Yeah, I have a feeling.
Bye.
See, time flies when you're having fun, right?
It does.
Yeah,
it does. It really does. Like those 3-hour podcasts are a little weird. When you get around the third, like 2.5 hours, I start fading.
Yeah. The coffee's wearing off. You're just like, man. It's like, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's black coffee. I don't put no sugars and stuff in it.
No, you just drink it black. Just okay.
Well, like sugar's bad, right?
Yeah. Brown sugar is better for you.
Well, sure, but any sugar.
Well, yeah.
Like the natural cane sugar?
Or even date sugar. Dates, the fruit.
Yes.
Yeah, date sugar is really good. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, my God. I can sit and eat a whole bag of dates.
Really?
I love them.
They are good, and they're good for you.
Yeah.
It's healthy. See, I feel as though once I became a vegetarian, I realized how many healthier alternatives there are to
100%.
Foods that can taste good. I recently bought these vegan muffins that, oh my God, they're addicting.
I had somebody make fried rice out of not broccoli. What's the cauliflower? They use cauliflower for the rice instead of rice.
Oh, really? How was that?
It's so good.
It's really good. Roasted cauliflower is so good. You tasted the flavor of the cauliflower. Did you taste it? The flavor?
Well, I mean, the way they cooked it, I'm not sure if I don't know what the hell was in there. I don't know.
Okay, probably put some seasonings.
I think there was like soy sauce, probably for sure. I don't know if there was any. I don't think these people were vegan, but they saw this recipe on on a vegetarian or whatever.
Yeah.
So they were like, let's try it, and it actually tasted really good. Yeah. You almost couldn't tell. You thought you were eating rice.
Yeah, and the thing is, especially with vegetables like cauliflower, that has fiber in it. And fiber fills you up. It makes you feel full quicker. But a lot of these foods, especially in the stores or fast food, they don't have any fiber in them. So it's like you could eat 2 whole bags of fast food and not feel full because it's not real food.
Right, it's not.
The majority.
When you can leave a burger on the table for 2 weeks and it doesn't change.
For 10 years.
Yeah.
It never molds, it never rots.
Yeah. And
That's creepy.
You have to think, what does that do in your body? And so your body
Imagine it's like corn.
Yeah,
Just kind of comes right on out.
Well, no, actually, no. That's why the reason why so many people have big bellies is because your body doesn't know how to. I'm not talking about you.
I'm just gonna sit up.
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about anybody in this room.
It's okay.
I should have prefaced it by saying that.
You're good.
It's like just the angle. But the reason why so many people have big bellies is because the food, your body doesn't know how to break
Process
down. Fake
it's
food.
leaving all those toxins in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. That food, quote unquote,
microplastics.
Yeah, exactly. That food, quote unquote, is decomposing in your body. That's why, people that have those big bellies, typically they stink. I mean, the sweat that's coming from their body, it's the food decomposing. And so those toxins are being expelled. So the poop is stinkier, the sweat is stinkier, or if you're just standing around, you stink because the foods are being expelled from your pores. And I'm not trying to be mean, but it's just facts.
No, I have noticed though. I used to be a lot stinkier.
Really?
And since she's been here, since she moved in and she started cooking like she does, and like I said, she doesn't cook processed anything. She cooks everything from scratch.
That's good.
And
you got a good one.
Oh, dude. But I have noticed that,
Yeah.
I don't stink as much.
Exactly.
Even my feet used to be gross.
Yeah.
I would never take my shoes off around people. I'll stick my nose right in my shoe right now. I've been wearing that junk all day.
Prove it. I'm kidding. It was a joke.
Oh.
It was a joke. I don't want to turn into what kind of podcast is this? What did I sign up into?
No.
But
Might be a new thing you could add to your cuddling business. Let people sniff your feet.
No. Ew.
Wow. That's an extra 10,000. Hey, if the money's right, I'll let anybody sniff my feet.
Hey, $20 is $20.
You know what I'm saying?
No, $20 is not $20.
I'm just kidding. That money will come later.
$20 plus inflation.
I'm a broke girl. Okay, we don't have money over here.
But even then, you do have a point. You notice the difference.
You
notice
totally.
You're not as stinky.
I'm eating differently, so
yes. And you feel differently, right?
100%.
You have more energy. You feel better, and I feel as though most people miss out on that because they simply don't care.
Yeah.
They're just getting by in life. Most people I meet, they're just getting by in life, and they have no passion, no anything that gives them a drive. It's just they're just surviving.
No, that's great. I mean, hey, some people are worker bees, and that's fine. That's how you want to live your life.
But they don't realize that the best asset to invest in is yourself.
Right. Because
your job will fire you any day. I got fired.
Oh yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, I got fired from so many jobs, and it wasn't.
I know we heard a lot of them tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? We got derailed on a conversation.
Oh snap!
About the Chinese stuff. You were talking to a guy. You said.
Huh?
You said you were talking to a guy about the sky view.
Sky view, yeah. Did I?
Yeah, you said you were talking to him about it, but then you told us what sky view was.
Oh yeah, you.
Oh no, one of my clients for real estate.
Okay.
No, he was talking about how things are there,
okay.
and how things are in China. And so he was just talking about moving back because for him, that doesn't really affect him because he has money.
Yeah.
He's a real estate investor.
Okay.
He has properties all over the world.
Right.
So
is he a dual citizen or something or
no
U.S. citizen?
I think he's. I'm not sure. I didn't really figure that.
Is this one of your cuddle clients?
No, real estate.
Okay.
Real estate. But even then, he was just talking about how, I have property here, property there. And I keep saying client, but we didn't get a contract with them because the price was too low. But even then, I still see him as a client eventually. So I'm kind of speaking into
you
existence.
should.
But yeah.
Manifest it, girl.
Yeah, but that's how I got That's how I was talking about him, because he was the one that educated me on that whole reality. And that's when I looked it up, and I was just like, wow, this is for real. And I feel as though it's so important to talk to people of these different nationalities, their different cultures, see what's going on in the other side of the world, because what's going on in the other side of the world, eventually it's going to catch up to us.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. If you're blind to it, and if you don't see it now, then you're going to see it when it's too late.
We worry about a lot of other dumb things.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that just like how other countries, especially China, it's, people that have money and people that don't have money.
Yeah.
A lot of other countries, people have money, people don't have money.
Right.
There is no middle class. Right now, what's going on, inflation, people can barely afford groceries, homes. There's a middle class now, but I think eventually it'll get squeezed out.
Right.
And so I feel like the sooner that we act with urgency to figure out a plan, the way I see it is, I don't waste time to complain like, oh, I can't afford this or that. The way I see it is, okay, things are getting more expensive. How can I make an income for myself to where I'm always above inflation so that that's never an issue? And thinking like that, thinking strategically, and knowing that you can think of an idea that can put you above inflation to where that's not a problem anymore.
Right.
Because most people, all they worry about is money. Yeah. And there's so much more to life than just stressing, going from paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Like, that's not living, that's surviving.
I don't know. I don't mind. Like, I'm kind of paycheck to paycheck right now. There are days I stress, but the majority of the time I don't care. I'm gonna pay my bills eventually.
Of course.
I don't, and I just focus on what's happening right now.
Yeah, of course.
And I went through a period of time in my life where I was chasing promotions and getting more money was important to me, and I just couldn't care less about that right now. Like we talked about, time, energy, money is just not. I'm gonna get it. I have to make some money. I have to pay the bills. I have to pay my taxes and do all the things, which I do. But that's just like I don't know. It's just like a secondary function for me.
Of course,
life is more important than making money.
Life is important, but life without money is very difficult. Money, the way I see it, money gives you options. You know, the less money you have, the less options you have.
True, but there are a lot of people with little to no money, and they're perfectly happy.
Yes, you can be happy with little to no money.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm not in a place where I'm making as much money that I want to yet. But even then, I'm happy along the journey. I'm happy if I don't have much money right now, because I know that, I'm enjoying life right now.
Right.
But what I realized is that, in this day and age, money is a tool. I see money as a servant, not a master.
Right.
So I see it as, okay, how can this help me? How can this make me better? How, I could buy healthier foods if I have a certain amount of money. I get to upgrade my lifestyle in sense of better foods and a safer area to live. I've always lived in not the best areas. In elementary school, middle school, I would live in apartments, and we lived on a top floor, and walking down the stairs, people would be doing drugs.
Oh, fun.
And and I would get a whiff of that here and there. And so I was easily introduced to it pretty early. And, it was not fun. It was not fun. And so being able to have the option to say, okay, I want my kids to live in a safer area away from these drugs, because they'll start smoking weed at 12 like I was, because of their environment. It's one of those things where you can't help it. Mm-hmm. But, I see it as a tool. But I understand what you're saying. You can be happy with any place, but I think you can monetize this, by the way. Seriously, you have the best interviewer.
Well, you've got to have a certain, there's certain statistics that you have to have, certain hit points that you have to have before you can really monetize. But we'll talk offline.
Of course, yeah.
But I do thank you. We're going to go ahead and start wrapping it up.
Okay.
But I appreciate you coming all the way out here to, where we're at, from where you came from. And I'm going to be watching you and looking forward to seeing your evolution.
I'm going to be watching you too.
Yes.
Respectfully.
Appreciate that. Yeah, that did sound a little creepy. Both of us.
Be watching you too.
It's a Sting song, man.
Be watching you
I'll
too,
be
Pat.
watching you, which is a very creepy song if you think about it. Anyways, thank you.
Thank you.
Everybody,
guys.
give everybody if there's any social media or website or anything that you'd like the people to go and check you out with.
Yes.
Go ahead and give that to them.
All right.
Now.
Yes, please follow me on Instagram, Jasmon Journey, JASMON JOURNEY, and that's the only social media that I'll give out. Well, that's the main one I use, really. So yes, thank you.
And we will see everybody next week for another great episode. Love you. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Adios, amigo.